Alrighty, welcome back to another Rotisserie draft. If you caught the last one, then awesome. It was pretty fun. And I wanted to explain the rules a bit and kind of go through the first couple rounds of picks. Actually, the first now 3 rounds of picks because this draft was a hell of a draft. The rails are indeed off. So Rotisserie draft is a pretty simple concept. We draft the vintage cube, which is to say the person who goes first sits down. They take any card they want. The person who goes second, any card they want that hasn't already been taken. There's one of each card. And in terms of the cube list, I'll link it. I failed to do that last time. I will go ahead and put that in the description. It's basically the fully powered vintage cube plus a bunch of other cards. So there isn't a huge drawback to having a lot more cards. The biggest thing is though, one of the sheet we use, you can look through the cube what's left. The bigger that gets, the less kind of the more clunky that gets, and the harder it is to approach. So there is a drawback to having cards that no one's going to take. And in fact, RD, Retired Devil, one of the guys who's in the draft here, good buddy of mine, as all these are, we do a lot of cubing together. He always runs data analysis. I'll see if I can sprinkle some of that in, like cards that moved up or down the most roto to roto, because he tracks all of them. Cards that haven't been picked, cards that were picked in a previous one but weren't picked this one, that sort of thing. And so we do rotate cards, and people vote on what cards they want in. Vote, I mean, if you want a card in, you can just basically add it. But we're cognizant we don't want a 2,000 card list. We have something in the 600 range, 650 range, something like that, just to make it not too overwhelming to look at, but basically have access to all the cards that you might want. So let me introduce the usual suspects here, as it were. We've got Mac in seat one, of course, the luckiest of all of us. Mac you might remember him from a lot of the cube videos I did. He took a bit of a hiatus, actual work called, but he's back for the rotoing. Squirrel in seat two, as longtime friend of the stream. He's actually been a Twitch mod on me and Gabby's channel for, let's just say, a lot of years. I don't want to make us sound old. We've got Mark R, Mr. Bolus's Citadel himself. We do a lot of cube drafts with him, and we'll see if he ends up with Citadel in his deck this time. We've got Adham. Adham's awesome. And he doesn't draft as often on the server because he, again, has a job and isn't a functional adult. Luckily, I got to say, everyone here pretty much, not naming names, is a functional adult. No, I guess I do count. So Adam here is in fourth pick. We've got Broccoli Rob. I did actually, and by I mean RD, change the names to on the sheet to be what I'll be saying. That does line up better. We got Broccoli Rob here, picking fifth. He's another inveterate cuber. We've got Morty's dog. Morty's awesome. He's also a mod on the Divination server. So if you ever want a cube draft, a lot of casual friendly cube drafts there, and he does a lot of organization and setup. So it's always nice we can get Morty into something where he doesn't have to do any of the organization, because he does so much of that work himself, and it's appreciated. RD, the Retired Devil, who does actually quite a bit on terms of the sheet and figuring all that out. Also a bit of a wild man. I love watching RD draft. We'll get to watch him draft in a second here. And then Ark, our other Mark R. Ark actually known for quite a while as well through Twitch. And it's cool getting him in here as well. Of course, last pick, that's me. Worst seat in the house. As usual, next time we're actually going to do something interesting, which is to say we're going to randomize the order, but it's not the order you pick in, it's the order you draft seats in. So first pick's probably still going to choose to go first, because I do think first is the best. That's really how the edge Mac needs to do well. But what's best if you roll second? I think eighth actually is last. I'm not just complaining to complain, though I would do that also. I do think eighth is worst. I don't want to reveal what I think is best, though, because this group, they're going to watch. They're going to learn, unfortunately. Anyway, so let's get to it. Mac here, pick one, and he actually didn't shock anyone. He took Black Lotus. All right, fair enough. So Squirrel, pick two. A lot of the pick twos that we've seen in the past, Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, Time Walk, Ancestral, Gleemox. Squirrel went a different direction. Squirrel saw my success with Academy and couldn't help but hop on the bandwagon. I think this is a totally fine pick. You are early enough that you probably don't get a piece of power back. In fact, Squirrel is not going to. But Academy is a really nice lane to take. And especially when like in the last draft, which I did win with Academy, by the way, it was not contested, and that was awesome. Mark, though. Mark pick three here. He decided that Mana Crypt was where he wanted to be. So he's laying a claim to colorless costs, but there's still a pretty wide range. He could be artifacts, a lot less likely given score just took the Academy. Mark's not obviously going to go artifacts, but I guess he could be. He could be red-green beats or white aggro. He could be some kind of combo deck, like a sneak deck uses a lot of colorless mana. Probably not a low-curve black deck. Mana Crypt's at its worst there. Add him, Mr. Blue himself. I guess he actually drafted Boros last time, but I always associate with Adam with blue cards. He really likes drafting them. He takes Time Walk. All right, Time Walk or Ancestral, they're both really interesting to build a deck around. So we'll see which direction he goes. Rob takes Gleemox, so it's fallen to 5th. It could have taken 2nd last time. Gleemox, again, is a very open card. You can take whatever you want. Rob is a pick or two short of likely getting a second piece of power, because especially since Academy already got taken. So, Academy works the other way. Academy wasn't taking power, but he's still early enough. That's the other thing I failed to mention. We're 9 people this roto. It doesn't hurt to be at 9 instead of 8. That is why the Academy math wasn't working out. All right, I figured it out. And Rob takes Gleemox here, and we'll see what he ends up with, but he could really go any direction. I'm last. I'm not. I assume I'm probably going to take 2 Moxes. That's all it's going to be on offer. But we'll see. Maybe someone will let Ancestral slip through. I can tell you that's not the case, because Morty takes Ancestral Recall. So you're saying you're going to play blue. You probably want cards like Force of Will if you can get it, Snapcaster Mage, Jace Friend's Prodigy, that sort of thing. But Ancestral's still a fairly open card. Less so than Gleemox, certainly. Less so than Mana Crypt, though Mana Crypt has some of restrictions. Way more open than Academy. Academy's pretty focused. Lotus, also pretty open. Part of the strength of Lotus, you can go a lot of directions, and they're all good. All right, so Adam and Morty both playing blue. Squirrel also playing blue, but that's not uncommon. And then RD here fires off the Soul Ring. So RD and Mark both looking for large amounts of colorless mana, or decent amounts. Not large. Doesn't have to be large. Doesn't have to be 5, 6, 7 drops, but like 3s and 4s more than 1s and 2s. Ark takes a pick he then came to regret. I know because he literally said it later, but we'll get into that. He takes Time Vault. I think Time Vault is a very strong card. BK won one of our first rotos with a Time Vault like Thoughtseize Duress deck. There's some good things you can do with it. It's a pretty constricting first pick. Not entirely so. Technically, all you need is Manifold Key. But the reason I say Time Vault is a bit of a restrictive is if you just put, let's say, Vault Key in a blue-black deck with some tutors, that's totally great. But they're both combo cards that do nothing on their own. If you put Manifold Key in a deck with Grim Monolith and Mana Vault and other artifacts, then Manifold Key becomes a strong card in its own right. Makes Urza's Saga better, which is another card you want with Time Vault. It can make Mox Opal a thing. I like drafting Time Vault artifacts because I think that uses the combo pieces better. But if you don't do that, you kind of end up with some bricks in your deck. So Ark has to reconcile that as he goes through this draft. But he just start with Time Vault. Totally reasonable. So now, to me, I've got all 5 Moxes. None of them have been taken. And I could do something crazy. I could take something like Flash or Mana Drain or, I don't know, Lion's Eye Diamond or something. I decided not to do that. I went with, I would say, a pretty basic set of picks. I went Sapphire Jet. I said, all right, I'm going to take a Sapphire. I'm going to take a Jet. And I'm going to walk you through the next round of picks going all the way back to me before talking about what my strategy is going to be, because it didn't really coalesce. I was just kind of seeing what was going to happen. The first 2 picks, I just took the 2 Moxes of the 2 best colors, I thought. And I wanted to see where things went. All right, so Ark now goes ahead and he grabs a Mox. I expect the Mox grab to be happening. In fact, it was all Moxes here on that. Ark takes Pearl. So once he takes Pearl, I'm immediately thinking, okay, he's going to want to have Enlightened Tutor in his deck to get the Time Vault combo. Maybe like he could go blue-white and get Teferi. Maybe go black-white and get discard. Who knows? But Pearl is a real signal. You take it for a reason. RD then snapped up a Mox Ruby. Okay, so it was Ruby or Emerald, and Ruby makes some sense. I mean, indicates a little bit which color he wants to play. And red, I think, is a bit stronger than green. That said, Morty still took Mox Emerald. I think it's the best card left. Ancestral Emerald doesn't mean he's going to play green, but that was the best card left. So we'll see where that goes. Now Rob can really, he has the opportunity here to really shape the direction of his draft, because a lot of the auto picks or kind of generic powerful cards are gone, like Morty taking Mox Ruby, RD taking, or Mox Emerald, RD taking Mox Ruby. Those are both very strong cards, but they don't tell you a lot about the direction of the deck. Whatever card Rob picks here is likely going to tell us a lot about the direction of the deck. He could take the One Ring. He could take Mana Vault. Those would leave him a bit more open. He didn't do any of those things, though. He took White Flame White Plume Adventurer. WPA. Oh, that's actually a little small. Let me get you a little bigger there. All right. WPA means, well, Rob is probably going to play a white aggro deck. All right, fair enough. Good to see, because I wasn't planning on doing that, and it's good. You want people drafting strategies different than yours, so it made sense. Also, White Plume Adventurer was going to get taken, at some point here pretty soon. All right, and then add him. He's got Time Walk. He's going to draft blue cards. A lot of cards he could take here. One Ring, Mana Drain, Flash. These are all reasonable cards. He takes Time Twister. Also a reasonable card, but one that is interesting. A lot of the fast mana is gone, right? Mac has the Lotus. Mana Crypt is gone. All the Moxes. And by taking Time Twister, he's probably not getting Mana Vault back. So Adam almost assuredly is going to want Hull Breacher in his deck, and is going to be heavy blue at this point. Twister Walk is a good combo. Recurring Time Walk is always great. Drawing 7 to find your Time Walk, also great. So, powerful start. Interesting. We'll see where this goes. Mark takes Mana Vault here. So, Mark is on the colorless train for sure. If I was Squirrel, I'd be starting to get a little more worried, because Mark just took 2 colorless accelerants, but obviously Mark's not going to draft artifacts right next to Squirrel. Squirrel snaps up one of the best colored cards that's still left. Managing, what are you doing down there? He moved somehow. He did not take Mana Drain. That's why. Squirrel is going to take Mana Drain. He takes the One Ring, which I think was a good pick. Mac could easily have taken it. It's a powerful colorless card, powerful artifact, good with Academy. Solid pick. Now Mac, a lot of ways he could go here. He could take Underworld Breach. He wouldn't take Underworld Breach Brain Freeze. That's a thing that you would see people do in like one of our first rotos. And the reason not to is if he takes Underworld Breach, who else is going to take his Brain Freeze? He can actually float it for quite a while, and I think that's a good strategy. Our rule when it comes to hate drafting, by the way, is basically just don't do stuff that's negative expected value for yourself. What I mean by that is, let's say Arc takes that Time Vault, and I am in a mood, I'm just like, screw Arc, I want to get him. And I just take Manifold Key, Voltaic Key as my next 2 picks instead of the Moxes. Clearly that'd be disastrous for my equity. It'd just be out of spite. That is disallowed. It's not been a big deal or anything. We're all reasonable. We're all friends. That it's easy to just be like, come on, sort of thing. But on the other side, there's not like a predetermined time, but once you get later into the draft, it becomes fair game. After around the first 8 rounds or so, 10 rounds or so, if Mac had taken Underworld Breach and has Lotus and has Lion's Eye, but hasn't taken Brain Freeze, someone is well within their rights to hate Brain Freeze. You don't get a free ride forever, but it would be pretty bad for Rob to just hate a Brain Freeze 3rd round. So we'd say, don't do that. But if Squirrel wanted to take a Manifold Key, that'd be totally reasonable. He could. It's good in his deck. Same with Mark. Mark could easily take a key here. Arc shouldn't float the keys forever. They're actual contested cards. But for something like you take Demonic Consultation, how long can you float Thassa's Oracle? Well, in the last draft, RD took Consult, and then Mark took Oracle for his Doomsday deck, and that was totally legit. It wasn't a hate draft. It would be more frowned upon if you are obviously doing something just to tank someone else while also hurting your own equity. Anyways, Squirrel takes One Ring, and Mac now can take Brain Freeze. He can take some tutors. He could take a non-combo card if he wanted to. Well, he ended up going with Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, and I think this is a really, really smart pick. I hate to hand it to him, but what this does is it makes his deck quite a bit better at doing whatever it is his deck's going to do, and with Lotus, DT, Vamp, he's going to be good at doing that. It also makes it a lot less appealing for other people to take combo cards, which means he can kind of pick what combo cards he wants later in the draft. So, good pick from Mac. He sends it back to Squirrel. Shocker. Squirrel takes the Mana Drain that I already revealed. So Squirrel drafting Big Blue Academy with One Ring Mana Drain. It makes total sense. And Mark then continues with his monolith theme. He's got 3 mana artifacts. And now from Squirrel, I'm actually getting a little more nervous. It's like he is looking like artifacts. Is he going for a Mishra's Workshop deck? Is my Mox Opal safe? Well, we'll find out. Adam, to finish off his Time Walk, Time Twister start, he's going to take Flash. Well, not finish the start, to keep going. So 3 powerful blue cards. I would bet a lot at this point that Adam's going to end up with Mystical Tutor in his deck and Hull Breacher and some of those cards. And he in fact does end up with both those. Rob takes actually a pretty defining pick here. So he took White Plume, he took Gleemox. You could think, oh, is he going to take Swords to Plowshares? Caracas? Maybe Ancient Tomb? No, he actually does something completely different. He takes Thoughtseize. And I was like, oh, that's a good pick. Because Black-White Disruption, I think, is quite strong. You don't need that many non-white cards, right? You can play Duress, Thoughtseize, a removal spell, maybe one cheap creature if there's like a good one, or Dark Confidant, and the rest just good aggressive white creatures. Yeah, that's a good strategy. Good against combo, which there's a lot of in Roto. And planting his flag as the second black drafter. Usually there's like 2 black drafters, but there can be up to 3, maybe 4, depending on, because the other thing is depending on what decks you're drafting. They could easily not overlap depending on what they're doing. Morty? All right, Morty throws us a curveball too. Far from the most shocking pick in the draft, but he takes a Lion's Eye Diamond. It's like, oh, Morty's now throwing his hat in the Underworld Breach ring. I would be surprised if on the way back he didn't take one of Breach or Brain Freeze to cut it off of Mac. Just not as a hate draft, but as a stay away from this lane. This is what I want to do, and Ancestral Recall is great with that combo. So Morty takes that. RD takes Balance. And now I'm like, whoa, Arc would have probably wanted that. Squirrel I look like not drafting, like he's not drafting white, but would have been great in Mark's deck as well. So Balance is going to be a contested card here, and it looks like a strong pick. And at this point, it's like, oof, what is RD doing? I don't actually know. He really could be. He could be cooking up almost anything over there. So Arc, to follow up his Time Vault pick, well, this one isn't too committal. He takes Urza Saga. Very strong card, wouldn't have come back, goes great with Time Vault. Arc is still basically colorless. RD has 1 white card and 2 colorless things. Mark's straight up colorless. We've got some interesting things. And then I take a pretty defining set of cards too. I'm going to show you both my next picks, because the only advantage to being 8th is that, and on the corners, 1 actually gets this too, so it's the best seat and gets this. You get to take 2 cards in sequence, which means you can always lock in a 2-card combo if they're both available. I kind of took a 2-card combo. I took Force of Will, Force of Negation. And here I can kind of tell you what I was planning from this point out. Because I wasn't going to get another pick, right, until everyone else had taken 16 picks are going to have gone by the time I get to pick again. I decided I wasn't going to take Demonic Consultation here. I wasn't going to take Entomb or an Animate card. I was going to take both forces. High on my list to get back would have been or to pick up are just like other strong blue cards. And what I was going to do is basically just try to draft good cards and not be committal until at some point late, I'll just pick up a way to win. Because it could be Luris, it could be Consult Oracle if that kept going around. I could be like Shinobi and Kaito Ninjas. I don't even have to be black. Taking Mox Jet does not mean I have to play black. I thought it was the best Mox at the time, but could easily go a different direction. If a color's underdrafted, I could go into it. And there's enough good blue cards, I felt like I could just kind of take good blue cards for a little while. So this is the start to our Roto. And before I go into, full Excel spreadsheet mode for the rest of the picks, I wanted to kind of go over where everyone's standing after a pretty impactful, basically first 2 rounds. I'm 1 pick ahead of everyone because I wheel. Mac has a Lotus and 2 Tutors. It could be anything. It's obviously going to be combo. It's obviously going to be playing black. All right, pretty open still, though. Could be Reanimator, could be Consult Oracle, could be Storm if you wanted to be, could be something else. Those are like the main possibilities now that Breach is gone as well. Could be Sneak, I guess. Flash is already gone, though, so that's a lot less appealing. Squirrel's on Academy with 1 ring and Mana Drain. No reason to believe that's not big mana classic Academy, but obviously we'll see how that pans out. Mark, pretty big wild card, is looking like he wants to be artifacts of some kind, has 3 very powerful colorless sources. At this point, I have to imagine he's going to want like Ugin and Mishra's Workshop in his deck, but I don't know. We'll see what his intentions are pretty soon here. Same with Adam, though his are pretty clear. He's going to take good blue cards. He's going to take counters. He's going to take Hull Breacher. He's going to take Mystical Tutor. He's going to take some fetch lands, be multicolor, do some good stuff. Probably green to recur that Time Walk. Rob also looks like he's got a pretty firm lane. Gleamox plus Thoughtseize plus White Plume is like, I'm going to be black-white aggro disruption. And in fact, that is where Rob goes. Morty has an LED, a Mox, and an Ancestral. Is presumably drafting towards Underworld Breach, but we'll see where this ends up. RD, very open. Soul Ring, Ruby, Balance, could basically draft anything. Arc, Time Vault Pearl Saga means he's going to want a key, and in fact, that's literally his next pick is Manifold Key. But has pretty wide range other than that, because he could draft a lot of different things. And then, of course, I have Blue Mox, Black Mox, Double Force. All right, so let's get going, and let's see where this goes. All right, so as a reminder, I took Force of Negation, Force of Will. Arc then takes the Manifold Key, which again makes sense. It's a contested card. Artie takes Mox Diamond. So still keeping things quite open because it's a 5-color mana source and good with balance. He's got Pretty nice little balance set up there. Morty then takes Underworld Breach, which I think was pretty necessary if you wanted to take LED. Like, I don't really understand why you would not do that, because if you ship back without taking Breach, Mac has a decent chance of just going Breach, Brain Freeze right there, and then you're not really doing much. So that seems like he's according to plan. Rob takes Duress, still going according to plan. Adam takes Hull Breacher. Mark then takes Mox Opal, and I know Squirrel was not happy about this. Squirrel takes Sensei's Divining Top, which I actually think was like a quite a good pick, because Mac loves Sensei's Divining Top, and with 2 Tutors and a Lotus, actually there's a reasonable chance he would take it. Mac, however, and we're gonna move it to the next row, takes Dark Ritual and Tomb. So he has planted a bit of a flag. I'm gonna play Reanimator. Squirrel takes Displacer Kitten, likely scared of what Mark's doing, and then Mark takes Ancient Tomb. So Mark's all colorless so far, tons of colorless sources. Adam takes a disastrous pick from me. He takes Lutri. I did not think Lutri was going to go quite so soon. I was really hoping to pick it up to go with my 2 forces. Rob takes 4th Earlingus, so maybe he is going to play red. Little Mardu Disruption start and a very powerful card. 4th is a card like RD I'm sure would have loved. Arc might have taken, who knows. Morty then takes Brainstorm, so one of the better blue cantrips left. All right, makes sense. Ancestral Brainstorm, Breach, LED. That's a good start. RD takes Mana Leak, so it's like, okay, blue-white balance control maybe, but potentially other colors. He has a Ruby and a Mox Diamond. Arc takes Chrome Mox, so there's a race for all this mana acceleration. Mox Diamond and Chrome Mox already gone. I've just taken my time over here. I took Tameo and then Counterspell. And in Roto, I like Counterspell a lot more than something like Remand or Mana Leak. Obviously, the mana is a thing, but I just think that when you play against a deck with Entomb and Tutors or a Flash Hull Breach or Underworld Breach, I just want to counter it. I want it to be done. I don't want to memory lapse it. I don't want to remand it. I don't want to like have a Mana Leak that's dead later. So I took Counterspell. I just pretty heavily value just stopping what they're going to do. Arc then takes Seasoned Dungeoneer. So it's like, oh, okay. Arc is now throwing his hat in the ring of not necessarily aggro, but Seasoned Dungeoneer does imply that you're going to play to the board a decent amount. And he's got a Chrome Mox and a Pearl to speed it up. All right. This makes sense. And is certainly giving us a little more information about what Arc's trying to do. RD takes No More Lies. Actually, not a lot more information, given that he's now got basically double Mana Leak balance and 3 artifact sources. So he's got a lot of flexibility built in. Morty takes Brain Freeze. He just wants to make sure he locks it up. Sure. Rob takes Strip Mine. I think this was a really good pick. It's a good disruptive card, makes your matchup against the Academy deck much, much better. It's colorless. A lot of people could have taken it. I doubt Rob is going to try to draft anything that goes with it. He's just putting it in his aggro deck. Makes total sense. Adam takes Memory Lapse, so the run on counters is starting to begin. Mark then takes Mishra's Workshop, which that seemed like where he was going, and he has to take it before Squirrel does. Squirrel then takes Retrofitter Foundry, which is a card I love and a card that Mark would definitely be interested in. Mac takes Entomb and Red Elemental Blast. Oh, sorry, he already took Entomb. He takes Red Elemental Blast, and oh my god, this was a disaster for me in Pyroblast. So he picks 6 and 7, or I guess, and in the basically like the 4th round of drafting, takes 2 blasts. And I'm sitting here looking at my 2 forces and thinking that, all right, that's a disaster. Also, as of right now, it's great against Adam. It's great against Morty. It's great against RD. And it's great against me. 4 decks at the table. We'll see how many people end up playing blue at the end. Is it more? Is it less? We'll see. But this is a really good set of cards for him to pick up. Squirrel then takes the other key, which is great. Mark was going to take that probably this next round, and Key I think is still going to be good in Squirrel's deck. Good with One Ring, good with Top, good with Retrofitter, good with Candelabra once he gets that. I assume that the Academy deck is going to be the one with Candelabra. Mark then takes Walking Ballista, and now I'm starting to get some strong Zerta vibes from where he's going, but we'll see. Adam takes the Mystical Tutor, perfect. Rob takes Swords to Plowshares. It's another really just good generic white aggro card. Morty then takes another pivot pick, Caves of Chaos Adventure. It's like, okay. So him and Arc both took 4 mana initiative creatures when they look like combo decks, which kind of shows me that they want to move more into a mid-range / aggro direction and not just be combo, that you could do both, certainly. Artie then takes Flooded Strand. So going with the blue-white theme. Arc takes Wasteland, so he's looking to be disruptive. Wasteland is definitely planting that flag, and I was actually interested in Wasteland myself. Just makes the Academy matchup much better, and Library of Alexandria is really good against the cards I have so far, so I thought that could be something. I myself took Psychic Frog, so I did take a black card, and I took Inquisition of Kozilek, another black card. I thought that one mana hand disruption, and this is the only one left that's really good, is valuable. And I think Psychic Frog is a really strong card, especially with all these forces and Tameo and all that. So I took Frog, Inquisition, committed a little bit to black. Well, pretty strongly to black, actually. Two really strong black cards that I'm using pick 7 and pick 8 on. That is indicating I would like to play black. Kicking it back to Arc, he takes Pest Infestation. Takes a green card here, and a really strong one. Pest Infestation goes pretty early. It's just a really powerful card. RD takes Scalding Tarn, so the fetch run might be starting here. He's certainly taking Jeskai fetches, which also makes sense. He has Mox Ruby, so now RD is looking like Jeskai control to me, but could go in multiple different directions. Morty takes Minsc and Boo Timeless Heroes. So Morty now, that's the red-green 4-drop Planeswalker. Morty is now looking like red-green Beats that has like a Brain Freeze combo as backup, or maybe like blue-red combo splashing Minsc and Boo. Either one of those could be where he's going. Rob then takes Karakas, which is funny because it just completely demolishes Minsc and Boo. It's right the next card. Adam then takes Lose Focus, which I think is smart. He doesn't take like Remand, which is a card which most people would put as better than Lose Focus. I think in his deck, having a card that stops the other card is really important. Mark then takes Wheel of Fortune. All right, we're getting in there. Wheel looks great with all this cheap acceleration. So I like what he's doing. Squirrel takes Urza. And at this point, I'm starting to think Mark is not going to be actually putting blue cards because Squirrel has... And partially it's because Squirrel took Drain, Kitten, Urza. So he's got a lot of the blue artifact adjacent cards. So Mark might not have a reason to go in. Mac then takes Bloodstained Mire, so black-red, and Reanimate. So he is pretty firmly cementing that he wants to be in Reanimator. And by taking Entomb and Reanimate, he's probably protected that lane from other people a fair amount. Squirrel then takes a pick Mark hated to see. Basalt Monolith looked so good in Mark's deck. Mark now I'm sure is regretting this Wheel pick. He would have rather take Basalt. Maybe he was fearing Mac would take Wheel, but Mac wasn't going to take Wheel of Fortune in his deck, I don't think, and neither was Squirrel. So unfortunate how that worked out for Mark. Probably still not as bad for Mark as the Opal leaving Squirrel's pile, but that these two right next to each other on artifacts, really funny. Mark then takes Arid Mesa, making me even more think Zerda's coming. Adam takes Misty Rainforest, Rob takes Marsh Flats, Morty takes Wooded Foothills, Artie takes Windswept Heath, Ark takes Verdant Catacombs, and I take Polluted Delta. The run on fetches has happened. I took Polluted Delta because I didn't want to spend a ton of early picks on lands. When you're playing straight blue-black, you don't actually need to really aggressively take lands, but I think Polluted Delta has enough going on that I was like, you know what? I'll take Polluted Delta. Plus, I would rather no one else draft blue-black, and right now, no one's drafting blue-black. So that keeps my options open the best. I'm now going to shrink myself here, and let's take a look at some more picks, because people seem to want to go a little deeper on the picks. I'm not going to go through the whole draft, but we're going to go a few slots down. So I'm going to start going a little faster here. So I take Polluted Delta plus Orcish Bowmasters. Arc then takes Prismatic Vista, so the fetch run not over yet. RD takes Preordain, makes sense. He's gotten all Jeskai cards so far. Morty takes Tropical Island to go with his Wooded Foothills. Now he's firmly looking like Teamer. Rob takes Reprieve. This one I think was maybe a little early, though Mark certainly could have taken Reprieve, and that's something that Rob was probably thinking about. Reprieve is a good card. Adam takes Teferi Time Raveler. So Adam now saying, oh, actually, no, I want to play white too. So two blue-white drafters, maybe more, but at the very moment, RD and Adam both competing for blue and white cards. And at this point, Squirrel doesn't get Balance, doesn't get Teferi. I kind of feel like he's not going to be Blue-White Academy. And then Mark takes Ugin. It's a card that seems very important to his deck. Squirrel takes Miscalc, doesn't want to be left out entirely of the Counterspell War. And then Mac takes Mana Confluence and Gitaxian Probe. And he kind of gets a little bit owned with this Mana Confluence pick, but that's in a round or two. He's taking some good, strong combo generic cards. Yeah, he's got a plan. Squirrel then loops back with Coveted Jewel. Mark with Tezzeret, Cruel Captain. So a card Arc might have wanted to take, but another artifact on Tapper. Still works with Zerda. Adam takes Tundra. He's seeing the writing on the wall, and if he wants a blue-white land, then now's a good time to pick it up. Rob takes, Adam takes Library of Alexandria, not Tundra. Rob takes Felia. So another very strong white cards. Currently, Rob is not the only one drafting these white cards, though, because if you remember, Ark took Seasoned Engineer, so Rob has to be a little bit aware of that. And Artie and Adam are both taking white cards, so who knows? They could dip into somewhere. Probably not Felia, but that's where he's at. Morty then snaps up Undermount Adventure. So he's now got 3 4-drop aggressive creatures in Teamer, and the Breach combo seems to be sidelined a little bit. Artie then takes Oko Thief of Crowns, and I was like, whoa. I did not believe this pick, though it is not the most tilting pick. That's already on the screen. You can probably guess what it is. RD is now saying, actually, I might be playing 4 colors. We'll see. He doesn't have any red cards yet, so he still could be now Bant, just blue, white, and green. But he's got a Scalding Tarn and a Mox Ruby. I suspect red cards are in his future. Ark then takes Lorien Revealed, and honestly, just like this pick broke my brain. I was like, no, Ark, how could you do this to me? I have both forces. I didn't think anyone here, not that I think anyone would never take Lorien Revealed. I didn't think anyone was going to, if RD didn't take it and Adam didn't take it. And I certainly didn't think Ark was going to take it. It's his first blue card. So that was a bit of a disaster for me, unfortunately. I did take my consolation prize of Spell Pierce, and then I took Stock Up, which is just another great blue card. The way I figured it right now, there weren't that many black cards I cared about left. All the disruption is gone, except for Dreams of Steel and Oil, which wasn't a card I was that worried about. Like Duress, Inquisition, Thoughtseize are gone. I have the Bowmasters. Not that I was going to plan to combo with it, by the way. I was just going to play Bowmasters kind of as a value card. I just looked at this, and it's just like a lot of creature decks out there and some card draw decks, and it's just good against both those things. Not particularly good against like Mac, for example, or maybe not against Mark, but against an Academy deck that might be the blue Academy deck draws cards. Rob is playing white, presumably going to have small creatures. Adam has Time Twister in his deck. Morty has Ancestral and Brainstorm. Just felt like Bowmaster is good, but I was mostly going to want to take blue cards from here on out, and that's what I ended up doing for the next couple of rounds. I took Spell Pierce. I took Stock Up. I don't know where I was going with Stock Up, but it's just a great card. Ark then took Breeding Pool, so it's like, okay, I guess he's moving into blue-green. RD takes Fable, so he's clearly going to be playing red. Morty takes Taiga, making sure his mana base is good. Rob then takes that Hymn to Turok, and that was an aggressive Hymn, but there's just not that many black discard spells left, and I think Hymn is going to be really good in the Strip Mine Thoughtseize deck. Adam then takes that Tundra, and Adam's Library of Alexandria is one I'm really worried about. I still don't know how I'm going to beat that card. Mark takes Mightstone and Weakstone. Squirrel takes Currency Converter. Mac then takes Lotus Petal and Snuff Out. So the Snuff Out I certainly had my eye on, but he's just taking more support cards. Again, he established that he's going to take Entomb and Reanimate, and he has the Tutors and Lotus, but now is just taking supporting cards, which is actually kind of what I'm doing. I haven't established anything. All I've established is that I want good blue cards in my deck. But I figure I can find a way to win. Psychic Frog already kind of is that. From here, I could easily go Luris, Ninjas, Consult, something else if I needed to. Anyways, Mac takes Snuff Out. Squirrel then takes Tinker, really cementing that he's going to be the blue artifact drafter. Mark then takes Jennifer Walters. That's She-Hulk. So it's 1 and a white for a 2/3. They can't cast spells during your turn, and you can pay a bunch of mana and flip it into She-Hulk. So it has an activated ability, still works with Zerta, stops opposing counter spells. I did not like that pick. Not for me, I mean. Adam then takes Voice of Victory, so they're both on like, all right, I'm going to take Counterspell Hosers. Great. Rob then takes Thalia, which honestly, I don't mind that much. It's going to be better against some of the more combo-y people, but plays nicely into what he's doing. Morty then takes Broadside Bombardiers. Every pick moving further away from Breach and more into Beatdown. RD then takes Comet, so he's got what looks like a Planeswalker balance control deck brewing up. I like it. Ark then takes Nadu, which that makes total sense. That's where he seems to be going. The Breeding Pool Lorien pick makes a lot of sense. It's got Pest Infestation. And then I take Ponder and Dismember, the 2 most generic cards in the world. That's my strategy. I'm going to just take whatever good cards, good, disruptive, cheap cards are in my colors, which is just blue-black. I don't want to be any other colors. Look, I have Spell Pierce, Dismember, Counterspell, Force of Will, Force of Negation, Inquisition. I've got Bowmaster, Psychic Frog, and then I have some value cards like Ponder and Stock Up, Tameo. So, still going according to plan. Ark takes Noble. RD takes Volcanic Island, which prompts Morty to take Steam Vents. Rob then takes Opposition Agent, looking at Max Tutors, Squirrel's Tinker, that sort of thing. Doesn't really do much to me. I guess I have a Pluto Delta. Adam then takes Birds of Paradise, and this was another one of those picks that was like, whoa, where did that come from? So Birds of Paradise, and now Adam is moving into green, which that's not a big surprise. The Time Walk deck almost always ends up with green, but boy, that's not where I thought that was going. So Birds of Paradise planting a flag, and now just to be clear, we've got Noble Hierarch and Birds of Paradise being competed for out of two decks that did not look like they were playing green that long ago. So we've got an interesting battle going down, and this draft just continues to get crazier. Mark then takes the Zerta. I think that makes sense. Just kind of tell people what you're doing. Squirrel then takes Trinket Mage, and that's because he's about to, unfortunately, listening to, the angel and like the devil on your ear whispering to you. I'm certainly the angel in this draft, and I started chatting with Squirrel about what he's going to take next. Mac takes Grief and then Shieldred, so two kind of strong black cards. Squirrel takes Skull Clamp, and at this point, I was telling Squirrel, again, he could do whatever he wanted, but I was saying one of the decks I've wanted to draft in this format is Blue-Red Academy Tokens with Skull Clamp. The Skull Clamp got taken really early last draft. I think it's pretty strong, and it leaves Mark a lot of the big mana stuff. He can have the Ugin, the Might Stone, the Monolith, Zerta, that sort of thing. You can go Candelabra Academy, Third Path Iconoclast, Pinnacle Emissary, Saheeli, Ravenous Robots, and then you can finish off with like Traumatic Critique or Fantastic Car or Kitten, Coveted Jewel, something along those lines. So Scroll takes Skull Clamp. I like that. Mark takes Parallax Wave, probably looking at all these green decks around, thinking like, all right, Parallax Wave will be good. Be good against Rob too. Adam takes Veil of Summer. Everyone has just got, they have it out for me. I can't get over it. This was one of the more devastating picks for me. Rob takes Deep Cavern Bat. I was really hoping to pick that one up, but it was a great pickup for Rob. The thing is, Deep Cavern Bat was going to not only be a great disruption piece for me, but also really good with Luris and Ninjas, and I just wanted to have the option to use either of those, but he takes the Bat, and then Morty takes Ignoble Hierarch. So now we have three different people competing for green one-drops. My Orcish Bowmasters look a little better for sure. RD then takes Dak Faden, another Planeswalker. I love this, by the way. We're at a spot where RD's drafting Planeswalker control. Ark's drafting like Nadu Time Vault. Mark's drafting Zerta. Squirrel's drafting Academy Tokens. Adam's drafting Flash, Time Walk, kind of bust, Hull Breacher, Draw Sevens, but with like green acceleration, kind of like a big green deck, big blue-green deck. Rob's like black-white aggro with a bunch of disruption. Morty's like beat down breach, like I mentioned, and Mac is kind of just boring old reanimator, just whatever. Meanwhile, I'm the innovative take all generic blue and black cards deck. I actually did want to try that, though. I haven't tried this strategy. Most of the times in these drafts, people pretty early on take a card that indicates exactly what strategy they're going to use, like a Time Vault, like a Lion's Eye Diamond Breach, like a Reanimate, Entomb, Academy, Grim Monolith, Michel's Workshop. I wanted to approach it from the opposite angle, which is just take all the generic like building block cards and then slot some win condition in at the end. But again, we'll see how that goes. My next pick up a Snapcaster Mage and a Mental Misstep. So Mental Misstep is, I think, more of a sideboard card. But the other thing I feel about Roto at this point, you get 40 picks. We might actually adjust it to 38, but right now you get 40 picks. And I talked about this last video too. With 40 picks, let's say you draft like 7 lands, which is still kind of a lot. That's still 33 cards. You're only going to play 23, 24 of them. That means that you should take a couple more lands and a couple sideboard cards. And I ended up with a lot of sideboard cards in this one. Mental Misstep, certainly going to be the nuts against Mac. Mac has Vamp, Dark Ritual, Entomb, Red Blast, Pyroblast, Reanimate, like just has it all. Against Rob on Thoughtseize, Duress, and probably some one-drop creatures, could consider it. Against Squirrel's Academy deck, lots of one-mana artifacts, definitely playing that. Against Mark, maybe. Against Morty, probably not, but maybe. Against Arc, probably with keys and one-drops. And RD, probably not. But still, it's a really good card when it hits. So I took Mental Misstep and Snapcaster. Snapcaster looking great with like Dismember and Ponder and Counterspell, that sort of thing. And I anticipated picking up more cards, more good blue and black cards to flashback. RD then takes another groundbreaking pick, Sneak Attack. Okay, so now if you're Adam and you have the Flash, if you're Mac and you have the Reanimate cards, a new person has entered the ring in terms of taking big creatures. So I would expect to see some big creatures taken over the next couple picks from at least some of those players. Morty then takes Orcish Lumberjack. Love it. Morty, you're the best. Orcish Lumberjack is such a cool card, and now those 4-drops looking a lot better. It makes a lot of sense. Rob then takes Fatal Push. The solid removal's starting to go even. I mean, I took a Dismember already. Adam then takes Savannah, so he's going to start to kind of work on his what looks like 3, maybe 4 color mana base. We'll see. Soul Guide Lantern for Mark. Really good against Mac, potentially good against someone else or other people like Morty, for example, with his Breach. And who knows where me or Arc or whatever's going to go. Plus, it's a good artifact. Works with Zerda. Squirrel takes Otawara. This I definitely influenced as well. I just think Otawara is so good, and it's like a free card. And it's busted in the Academy decks because they make so much mana. Like, I would have eventually taken Otawara, but it's not going to be that good in my deck because I don't have as much mana. Squirrel has tons of mana, so Otawara just solves a lot of problems. And then Mac did probably saw that sneak pick and was like, okay, I'm going to take Archon of Cruelty into Atroxa, take the 2 best animation targets. Squirrel then snaps up Mishra's Bauble. Mark takes Enlightened Tutor. So Arc was going to take that card, but Arc at this point has not taken a card that works with Time Vault for a while. So I think he might be moving past that a little bit. Adam then takes Torsten. The sneak, again, scared him into that. Rob takes Containment Priest now that it's going to be good against Mac, Adam, and RD. So that's a great pick. Or Morty takes good old Lightning Bolt. No complaints there. And then RD takes Stomping Ground. So he is committed to the 4-color life too. He's got Oko in blue-green. He's got Sneak in red. He's got Balance in white. Got to take some lands for that. Arc takes Malevolent Rumble. I don't know who else was competing for that, but I think Morty probably would have been interested with Underworld Breach. Breach Rumble's a really strong pickup. So Arc is just taking a good green card. And then I take me a little Toxic Deluge and an Animate Dead. So Animate Dead is a card that by itself isn't that good in my deck. I don't have very many creatures, of course, but I felt like it was going to be good at making a Lurrus deck good. It was kind of like a precursor to Lurrus, and it's actually a kind of decent sideboard card against people with good creatures, Mac in particular. But even then, if I'm able to, like, let's say Mac goes, Entomb, Reanimate, I force a will to reanimate, I can then animate his creature. Playing it against people with good creatures in their deck to just take, it's kind of legit. And again, it's really good with Lurrus, and I wanted to keep the door open for Lurrus. Arc then takes Titania. RD takes Pentad Prism, keep the fixing going. The Titania pick means he's going to want Zern Orb, Sylvan Safekeeper, all that. Sylvan Safekeeper also goes well with Nadu, so that makes total sense. Interested to see where the Green Sun Zenith ends up. A lot of people want it here. Morty takes Formidable Speaker, so he's got his green tutors. Rob takes Emperor of Bones, another great sideboard card / aggressive creature. Hedam then takes Fast Bond. We'll see where that goes. Mark takes Chromatic Star. Squirrel takes Ether Spellbomb, and Mac takes Gristlebrand. All right. So I'm gonna kind of move on to showing you what all the decks are, and then we'll go from there because the rest of the draft, kind of wrapped up, and I can go a little deeper if people want, but I feel like we're already 45 minutes in, so I think that's probably good on the draft summary. Basically, everyone kind of goes down. We've now established all the lanes, except for mine. I'll go through mine, and people pretty much drafted the way you would expect from there to kind of complement these lanes. All right, so I started with, this is what you've already seen: Sapphire, Jet, Force, Tameo, Counterspell, Animate Dead, all that. And then I took Shieldred's Edict, which has been, a really, really important piece of making sure you don't die to a Planeswalker. RD has a bunch of Planeswalkers or a big creature. Just a good removal spell. I'm just trying to make it so all my cards are as flexible as possible and powerful as possible. Whatever the good part on the curve is for those, and I think Shieldred's Edict does that. And then I snapped up in the same sequence Underground Sea, Watery Grave, because we moved to 3 now. So I got 3 picks in a row. So I took Shieldred's Edict, both blue-black duels. You've seen the draft. People are wild out there. I did not want to give anyone an excuse to take a blue-black duel. My next set of 3 cards was Daze, Nullrod, Dothy, Voidwalker. So picking up Daze, which I think is just excellent in this deck, and then 2 good hate cards. Nullrod against Squirrel and Mark, the 2 artifact decks, plus potentially Arc, depending on how heavy he is on Time Vault, and other people if they have too many artifacts. And then Dothy, Voidwalker against Graveyards. And then my next three pickups were Mystic Confluence, Cut Down, Jace Vryn's Prodigy. I really want to cut down because I needed a one-drop spell, and Mystic Confluence is a really good, big, expensive, powerful card, so I wanted both those. And then Jace looked really nice in the deck. Still haven't taken anything that really commits me. And now I took Consider, Caustic Bronco, and Sink into Stupor. I got to give credit to Mac. I didn't even realize that was in the cube. He pointed it out. With the double forces, it's a no-brainer. I got hosed on Lorien Revealed, but Sink into Stupor, that one will be good. And then finally, I made the committal. I took Wishclaw Talisman, Thassa's Oracle, and Demonic Consultation, and I took them 35th, 36th pick. That's the latest, like my 35th, 36th pick. So it's like 200 cards deep or something. That's the latest anyone's taken it. But it became clear that there was no one in position to take Oracle Consult. And also to be clear, I wasn't trying to like greedily float this in the sense that I'm like, ooh, no one's going to take it. I can just float it forever. It's more like I'm going to take all my support cards and I'm going to see how I win the game. And as it turns out, the way I was going to win the game, at least that is the plan now, is Oracle Consult. Still with an option to take Luris, but then at the end, BK stopped by, and here, I'll show you my last group of picks here. I ended up moving away from the Luris entirely. So what I did is I took Quantum, Riddler, and Subtlety, because Riddler, and I hate to hand it to him, BK was right. With a double Force, double Mox deck, Riddler's really good. This deck has a lot of cheap cards, and I just didn't think I was going to win with Luris. Both Mishra's and Urza's Bauble were gone, as they should have been. Other people wanted them more than me. I didn't have any one-drops to get back. Luris just seemed too slow. So I took Riddler, and then I took Subtlety, because Subtlety also is excellent with all the same cards as the other forces, and there's a lot of creature decks. I took Dig, which looked incredible in my deck. Then I took Stern Scolding, because there's so many creatures, and Jace Wielder of Mysteries, just to, now that I wasn't Luris, to have a backup Consult Sync. So now I have Jason Oracle, Consult, and I have Snapcaster, Jace Vryn's Prodigy to flashback Consult, and 2 copies of Oracle / Jace in case, so I could pitch one to Force if I need to. And when I have Animate Dead in my deck, I can Animate Dead Thassa's Oracle as well. So that's my deck. I'll take a look at where I ended up once it's built, though. All right, this is where I ended up. I think this deck's great. I ended up playing 13 lands, plus the 2 Moxes is 15, plus Sink into Stupor. So effectively 16 lands with Consider and Ponder. I thought both cantrips were pretty good. I have 2 Forces and a Subtlety, and I have a Dig Through Time and a Snapcaster, so the cantrips are going to be excellent. I ended up with Darkslick Shores, Delta, Undercity Sewers, and the 2 blue-black duels. I thought Undercity Sewers, despite being a tap land, was pretty nice. Just get to go fetch it up with my Delta, not my Lorien Revealed Arc. For one-drops, I have Dismember. I sideboarded the Cut Down. That was close. Tamiyo, Spell Pierce, and then Consult and Inquisition. 2-drops, I have Daze, Counterspell, Shield's Edict as interaction, with then also Force of Negation, Subtlety, Force of Will, Mystic Confluence, and then Jason Snapcaster to get values, flash things back. Oracle is the kill card, and then Shield's Edict as a removal spell. I have a Wishclaw Talisman in here. It's obviously the weakest card in my deck, but I think in an Oracle Consult deck, it's worth playing. It is costly to play a black card instead of a blue card. Like playing Stern Scolding or Mental Misstep there might have been right. And of course, Psychic Fragile. Main deck the Deluge, because they're playing us a lot of creatures. Stock Up is great. Jace as a win condition. And it's, I thought, really important to have Oracle and Jace so I can pitch either one to a Force and not have to stress about it. And then Riddler, which is really a 2-drop. I mean, honestly, my curve is just crazy low if you look at where all the pitch cards kind of go. I mean, they actually technically even go here. And then the Riddler on 2 and Dig on 2. So yeah, I mean, this is the deck. Sideboard, I've got a pretty good sideboard. I've got a Null Rod, a Dothy Voidwalker. I ended up sideboarding the Bowmasters. There's about half the decks I wanted in. I basically tried to play a lot of the cards that were good against more of the decks, with the exception of something like a Deluge that tutoring for can be really strong. Well, by tutoring, I mean Dig Through Timing. I don't really mean using Wishclaw. And then Mental Misstep against Mac, Scolding against creatures, Animate Dead against Mac, and maybe some of the creature decks. And then Bronco. I mean, honestly, the Bronco pick didn't really work out. Neither did the Animate Dead pick. I thought I was going to be Luris when I took those, or I thought I had a chance to be. I would swap them for like another random blue disruptive card or something, another cantrip or whatever, maybe another blue-black duel, honestly. But that's my deck, and to give you a current idea of the standings, it's actually pretty crazy. Let me show you. Oh, before standings, let's look at the rest of the decks. So Mac ended up on Black Red Reanimator with Lotus Petal, only 13 lands, but he's got Lotus and Petal and a Dark Ritual. Tons of ones. Probe is gonna, or Misstep's gonna be awesome. He's got Bone Shards, Dark Ritual, Entomb, Imperial Seal, Reanimate. I really wanted to pick up Imperial Seal. He took it like a round before I probably would have. Faithless Looting, and then both Red Blasts. Hater. He's got Exhume, Shallow Grave, Unmarked Grave, and Life Death as 2s, and Reanimate as a 1. And then Bitter Triumph, Collective Brutality, DT, Simian Spirit Guide is another mana source. Snuff Out, Unmask, Grief, Shielded. Oh, the Snuff Out kind of got owned because Mac, Blood Crypt and Badlands were both taken before Mac could get to them. So he did end up with Mana Confluence and Starting Town in his deck and Blazemire Verge and Blackcleave Cliff. So the Snuff Out's actually a lot worse than it would have been. So is the Bloodstained Mire. He only has a Raucous Theater to get. With Atraxa, Archon, Gristlebrand to reanimate. Sometimes you reanimate Grief, Unmask. I mean, this one's going to be tough. Squirrel ended up on Artifact Tokens, which was pretty cool. He's got the Academy and a map to go get it, both Baubles, Candelabra, Ravenous Robots, Pinnacle Emissary as his main token makers, along with Urza Displacer Kitten, Gadgeteer Monolith, Fantastica, and Traumatic Critique to win, and a lot of cards on the sideboard that he could use if he wanted. Mark ended up on Zerda with Ugin together as one, Mind Twist, Memory Jar, Elspeth, Walking Ballista, Noxious Revival to get back the Walking Ballista, Mana Crypt Opal, Mana Vault, Grim Monolith, Mindstone, Jennifer Walters, Wheel of Fortunes. Really, really sweet deck. Adam ended up on blue-green with Flash for Woodfall Primus and Torsten. He's got a Feywild Caretaker as a value card. Emeritus of Abundance and Tameo can get back Time Walk from the graveyard. Uro is a good way to use the graveyard. Hole Breacher to go with the Time Twister. Spellseeker to go get the Time Walk. He's playing a Fast Bond. Fast Bond over Spirit Guide, the classic. Eladamri's Call to go get his creatures. Spider Woman, that's Mocked in Itla. All artifacts and creatures your opponents control come to play tapped. And a couple counters. Lose Focus, Memory Lapse. Pretty cool deck. Good sideboard cards too. Rest in Peace, Stony Silence, Path, Veil, Tishana's Tidebinder, and he's got Lutri. Rob, nice little low to the ground, Duress, Thoughtseize, got the Gleemox, got the Strip Mine. A lot of good 2s, Thalia, Containment Priest, Felia, Emperor Bones, Deep Cavern Bat, Dark Confidant, Scholar is nice, Mother of Runes, Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride on 1. Yeah, Mental Misstep looks good here. And then Agent Bishop, Loran, White Plume, Baragoy, Cloak and Dagger as the big things. 4th is the only red card. And some good sideboard cards. I always think it's smart when people pick up good sideboard cards. Morty on red-green beats, not even playing the Brain Freeze combo. He could side it in if you wanted to, but his main deck is just an Ancestral off of some fetches. Hex Drinker, Ignoble, Lumberjack, a bunch of Bolts, Ragavan, Corey Steelcutter, Seer, Suplex, Undermount Adventure, Cavalry Chaos Adventure, Pyrogoy, Fury, Bloodbraid Challenger, Gut, Bombardiers. Yeah, some beatdowns. This deck actually looks like it could be pretty hard for me. This is why I wanted the Consult combo. I'm going to have a hard time beating this in a fair game. Some people I can beat with like Psychic Frog, Spell Pierce, Force of Will, and just beat them like that. Morty I think is going to be a little harder. Just too many good threats. RD on Breach, Sneak, Oath of Druids with a bunch of Planeswalkers and Balance, Scroll Rack, I love that, with Vaultborn, Tyrant, Worldspine, Emrakul, and Raph and Mikey. It's a 7-drop from Ninja Turtles that when it attacks, it flips the top creature of your deck attacking. So Raph and Mikey hit one of these things, and a bunch of Artifact Acceleration, bunch of fixing. Pretty cool deck. Gideon of the Trials and Untimely Malfunction for me. And then lastly, we've got Archon, basically mono green combo. He's got Nadu as his only non-green card. And a lot of fixing that he basically doesn't have to use. Oh, sorry. Dungeoneer and Nadu is the only non-green cards. He's got Grindstone, Painter Servant, and Time Vault Key, and Greaves Nadu. So Nullrod, stops Zernor too. Nullrod is actually a house against Arc. He does have Outland Liberator, Haywire Might. No, Haywire Might does not kill Nullrod. He's Outland Liberator and Pest Infestation. Otherwise, it's looking pretty good. He's got Green Suns and Finale, so he's got some cool combo stuff. And he has Pearl and Chrome Mox to accelerate him out. All right, so that's our intro to Cube, the Roto. And now, unfortunately, I got to look at the record. So at this moment in time, we've got Mac here at 7-0. He's 7-0. He's played everyone but me. And he's beaten them all. Adam at 6-1. He's played everyone but me and only lost to Mac. Squirrel at 1-4, Mark at 2-5, Rob at 1-4, Morty at 2-3, RD at 3-5, Ark at 1-3, and me at 2-0. Currently, I beat RD and I beat Mark. Those are the only matches I played. So we're gonna play some matches and we're gonna see the way this is gonna turn out. If Adam beats me and Mac loses to me, I believe and I beat everyone else. So that, again, this is not going to be a trivial thing for me. If so, then we could all technically end up at 7-1. Mac loses to me, Adam loses to me, or Adam beats me, and I beat everyone else. Obviously, if I lose twice, then I'm out of the running. And if I beat Mac and Adam beats me and they're both 7-1, I don't even know if we haven't actually done tiebreakers most of the time, so I guess they'd both be 7-1. So gonna be a tough one. And the other folks are playing for the next places too, so it's not over. There's plenty of matches left to be played. Let's see if I can pull off a miracle comeback here. I was down before I even played a single match. He was literally 7-0 before I played a single match. So let's see how this roto goes. All right, I'm battling Squirrel here. I'm 2-0, and I can't lose again. Well, I can't lose again or not again. If I lose to anyone but Mac or Adam, I'm pretty cooked, and I kind of want to beat both. I'm on the draw here against Squirrel. Yeah, I mean this hand is great. No way to win right now, or no way to get value. But Sensei's top, I'm not gonna force of negation that, as you would imagine. Okay, I need to draw Stock Up or Psychic Frog or something, but I have some pretty good counters, and actually, given the way this is panned out, if he doesn't just naturally draw Academy, I have a pretty good I think I'll do a pretty good job of stopping some of his early plays. I'll even likely be able to hardcast this Force of Negation. If I had gone first, I would have probably Spell Pierced. I would have counted the top. I don't know actually which one I would have done. Shielded Edict not looking amazing in this matchup. And then I get the nut sideboard here. Null Rod is going to be awesome. All right, no plays. That's fine by me. Oh, well, that was a really good draw because at some point I can get a Wish Claw out. And now I just need to draw Oracle or Consult. And I have the setup to kill. So Wish Claw was not bad. A 3-mana Demonic Tutor. Or I played earlier and it just kind of has Suspend. But I'm not in a big hurry to play it. Squirrel doesn't have any way to get rid of it when it's in play, I don't believe. But but he also has Mana Drain and Miscalc, so I don't really want to play right into Mana Drain. I am scared that he has Academy, but hasn't played anything yet. Okay. Gadgeteer. All right. Opponent sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice. I just want to trade Shieldred's Edict for that one because I think that the Edict is not that good. Even Days, I think I'll be able to do a better job with later. So I don't have Force Up anymore without pitching a card, but I can cast Spell Pierce and I can cast Daze probably by returning a land. I don't think I could have played Tap to Watery Grave, but I felt like having 2 mana up is probably fine. Okay, he has the Academy, so I don't like that. But hopefully he doesn't have any cheap artifacts. I might end up regretting that I used Shielder's Edict instead of Daze. We'll see. He didn't have a 0 last time. If he plays a 1-drop here, I can't counter it, or at least not without costing myself a ton, but hopefully he's got like expensive cards, and then I can... If I can get use out of both of Spell Pierce and Daze, I feel like I'm probably going to win. If I can only get use out of one, it's going to be certainly possible. If I can't get use out of either, it's going to be difficult. All right. I'll just keep my mana up. He has Miscalc in his deck. He's not doing anything, and he doesn't have that many instants. So if he's just going to spin top... On the other hand, he's got Academy, so any artifact he draws is obviously pretty powerful, but it's not doing that much right now. And I just need to draw Oracle or Consult. I mean, it's not just a win because he does have Mana Drain and Miscalc in his deck, but... And maybe I'm getting a little mileage out of him not wanting to tap out. That could definitely be part of what's going on here. Okay, dismember that before he has a chance to play anything. All right. Take my turn. Well, Counterspell is not bad. I mean, again, Academy is pretty frightening, but he doesn't seem to have a ton to play with it, and Counterspell is obviously just, it can stop whatever. I don't think there's any using Wish Claw not to win here. At least it doesn't seem like that'd be very good. You didn't play a land, so he's got to have some combo. I think he's got Mana Drain in hand, based on the way he's been playing. Almost assuredly some, like maybe 2 of the expensive cards in his deck. Oh, okay. See what this is. Talisman. I'll Spell Pierce the Talisman. His Academy is currently off. He's got Otawara, so he's got Drain up still. It just feels like Drain over there. I guess I'll keep Stinking to Super in my hand. Huh. So I have a play here that I might be able to use at some point, which is to use Wish Claw and then use Sink into Stupor to bounce the Wish Claw. I don't need to do that right now, but that is something I could end up doing. I'm going to think Force of Negation the top. Because that's going to keep Squirrel off of playing anything for a bit. And it effectively taps for mana. He could use Drain here, but if he does, I might just counter back. Probably would. And then it'd be out of counters, but I would hopefully have kept him pretty low on resources. And then now, this Daze is not looking amazing, but its time might come. Subtlety. Subtlety could do something here. I mean, he doesn't have that many creatures, but if he plays one, then I do get to Subtlety it. What is this? Oh, is this Traumatic Critique? X equals 1. I think I'm gonna Daze it, returning a land. I think that's okay. This lets me keep up Subtlety. I can't have Counterspell plus Sink into Stupor up no matter what. But I think keeping up Subtlety could be okay. With Academy in play, I like stopping cards like Top, Talisman, Traumatic Critique. Basically, keeping stuff off the board makes his best card weaker. I'm close to wanting to do the Sink into Stupor Wish Claw play, and returning a land didn't help for that because I kind of wanted 6 mana, so I could do that play and then keep up Counterspell. But if I think the reward of getting to cast a Subtlety here, like if he plays Urza and I get to Subtlety it, is just huge. So I suppose attacking for 3 with Subtlety is not really doing all that much for me. I never ended up taking Baleful Strix. I thought I was going to take that card almost the entirety of the draft, but then when it became clear I wasn't playing Lurrus or Ninjas, it just kind of felt like it was not necessary. Okay, well, let's just cast Subtlety here. Okay. Top or bottom? Puts it on the bottom. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, draw. Well, I mean, maybe the Subtlety does the trick. I still want to wait till I get a little bit more in terms of resources here. I could do the whole play and have a Force of Will up, but like I could have spent 4 mana on Wish Claw, sink the Wish Claw, but I feel like this is just going to be better. The Fantasticar. Okay. That one's okay. Lands are good. Oh, that is good. All right, Dig Through Time is amazing here. It would be sick if Squirrel had an instant to play and animate Fantasticar and block Subtlety. Now I'm going to get to go dig and counterspell his Mana Drain. Actually, I have exactly enough mana for that. And if he has Drain plus Miscalc, I guess I could force at that point because dig has a pretty good chance of finding either one of my combo pieces to just win. One card left, huh? So Urza, oh, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, one card left. I think I'm going to dig in response. See if his last card is in fact Drain. It's kind of felt like it might be, but yeah. Now I counterspell the Mana Drain. And he has an Urza, but I get to dig here. He gets to make Fantastic Card to a creature, because why not? And let's see, dig. I hit Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, which play Jace. Yeah, so I can take Jace and I guess take land. So I'll just take Jace and Jace. Because I have a land here with Sink into Stupor. I'm going to let Urza resolve. I don't think it does anything. And then Jace, I can pitch to force, I guess. If I draw a land, I can just do Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, Wishclaw, consult, name Brims Baroni or whatever, and then Jace. All right, up a game here. Game 1 is the hardest for me because I don't have an answer to Academy. Nora doesn't actually answer Academy, but I still think it's pretty good. Bowmasters, I think, is probably good. Mental Misstep is good. I mean, let's look at his deck again. Squirrel's got tons of ones, so Misstep is great. Bowmasters kills robots and Pinnacle tokens, but also just makes One Ring, Coveted Jewel, Traumatic Critique, Clues off Gadgeteer a decent amount worse. Like, it's not like a slam dunk, but my guess is I can find stuff to take out. Like, I think I take out Shielder's Edict. I think that's just too slow. Subtlety. He's got Displacer Kitten, Urza, Gadgeteer, Trinket Mage, Pinnacle Emissary, Ravenous Robots. He has 6 cards, and he might side in Narset against me. Maybe 7. He could also side in Citadel against me. It's probably pretty good. I'm just not pressuring his life total, really. I kind of want to leave the Deluge. Do I take Dismember out? It kills Kitten, Welder, Urza, Token Makers. Maybe that's okay. Days on the draw, maybe I just take out. And I like Inquisition well enough. Consider Ponder. I mean, maybe it's the Dismember. Maybe Bowmasters is better. Yeah, all right. I think I'll do that. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me. Maybe I want Stern Scolding. We'll go to game 3 here. Stern Scolding does counter all his creatures, including Urza. Yeah, that's probably good. This hand is not. I like Mental Misstep, but I'm not going to keep a 6-lander. All right, I guess I'll keep this and put back a Swamp. Nora does make Tameo a lot worse. That much is true. Fiery Islet Key. Because the clues don't crack, but... Oh. Let's get greedy. Let's get greedy, he said. I'm just going to play turn 1 Psychic Frog. He's got Key, but he doesn't have Mana Vault or Grim Monolith, so I don't think the key's going to like explode for mana this turn. Oh, kept a 1-lander. Let's see what the Inquisition says here before I shut the door with this Null Rod. Oh, Candelabra, Pinnacle. Oh yeah, this hand can go off quickly. I guess I take Pinnacle Emissary because it's the cheaper one. Let me attack with this Psychic Frog. I don't know that I need to cast the Null Rod this turn. If he draws Academy and goes off with Candelabra, that's pretty bad. Do I care about Ravenous Robots? I could just leave up mana because I think I will. Maybe this is playing a little too cowardly, but I feel like Ravenous Robots would actually be kind of annoying, and him cracking Spellbomb or using Key is just not really gonna get there. Oh, Pinnacle Emissary is gone. If he drew Academy, it would be really bad though. Now I kind of want to draw a land here. If I don't draw a land, it's a little awkward. I mean, he's got either Spellbomb, but it makes sense not to. Oh, Undercity Sewers. Let's see what I'm drawing next. I definitely don't want Mox Jet. I'm just going to play my creatures now. Because I can flip Tamiyo next turn with Jace Psychic Frog. And then next turn I'll have Null Rod plus Counterspell. And he's got to decide, do you want to use Spellbomb to bounce one of my things? Does he want to draw a card with it? He really wants to draw Academy, because if you drew Academy, he could go, I guess he can't Pinnacle Emissary. He could, yeah, he's drawing a card, which I think makes sense. He probably wanted to main phase it just to try to hit a land. Okay, well now he gets to play Ravenous Robots, I guess. Hopefully doesn't have any zeros. Zeros, he has those cards in hand. Let's draw. Use Jace first. Oh, wow. I guess I could discard Island. Yeah, I think that's fine, because I'm going to attack with these two. I will allow the Ravenous Robots to block my Psychic Frog. I think that I'm okay with that. All right. It doesn't bite. And then Tamiyo flips. All right, Deluge could be good. +2. And then let's just play the Null Rod. I can't use my my Mox or Clue anymore, but I think Null Rod is still going to be pretty good here. Right now, it's actually stopping more of my permanents than his, but it just makes it so he can't Academy Candelabra me. At least not easily. Talisman, yeah. It makes a 1/1, but sure doesn't tap for mana. Candelabra, yeah. I did hope to counterspell the Ravenous Robots for basically this reason, but I think that's fine. Attack Tamiyo. All right. Draw. Just go plus Tamiyo. I can Deluge for 1, and then he could play Displacer Kitten. Could maybe play Coveted Jewel, but it wouldn't tap for mana. So I think I am going to Deluge out for 1. I can't tap the Mox, yeah. X 1. And then I'm going to attack and discard Consider to this thing, because it's not going to deal damage otherwise. And let's draw. Okay, a land is nice. I'll flip Jace, that's fine. Consult is also nice. I'll just discard Riddler. I don't think I need that one. All right, well, I don't have a counterspell up this turn, but I feel like I've kind of got things locked down. If I draw Oracle, I just win. But even if I don't, this Psychic Frog is going to win pretty quickly. Yeah, Null Rod is just such a beating. Squirrel lost kind of badly to Null Rod and Stony Silence in 2 of the matches so far, which is one of the risks of Academy for sure. My Academy deck last time had face down Null Rod once, and it was quite difficult. All right. 3-0, because remember I played those 2 matches? We're coming for Mac, maybe. All right, this round we're playing against Adam. He's playing Mystical Tutor Birds, Fastball, Flash, Voice of Victory. His counters are Lose Focus, Memory Lapse, and that's really it. That's probably his biggest weak point. He has Teferi, Hull Breacher. He's going to try to be more assertive. All right, I am on the play. Oh, he has Lutri Companion, so that's the hold up here. And what does this hand do? Early Dismember. Force pitching an expensive card. I mean, if I draw a cantrip, this hand becomes pretty good. It's okay if I draw a discard spell. Yeah, I think I like Dismember enough against him to keep that hand. It's nice knowing they don't have a wasteland. I can just lead an underground sea. So what's always interesting against a deck with fast bond is, do you force the turn one fast bond or not? I normally don't like to, but sometimes it can work out kind of badly not to. Oh dear lord. All right, well that's going to be a problem. That makes this hand horrific. Yeah, Library of Alexandria is a huge, huge issue for my deck. Adam basically drafted it for this matchup, and it's going to be good. So I'm probably down a game unless I draw really well from here. This is a pretty reactive hand. It has a force and a dismember, so some good early interaction. It's not going to help me a whole lot against Library here. Edinburgh, what's going on? Deciding to go to Library or not? I guess maybe he could have, well, he can't have a Mox or anything, so yeah, I don't know. Okay, nothing. All right. I mean, upkeep Library to play around Bowmasters. That makes sense. There are some matchups where this would be better, and there's some draws that he has where this is a great hand. I mean, if he's going for an early flash or something, but oh, he has to land cycle. Okay. He might have kept a one lander, because if you had a land in hand, you would have just played it. You wouldn't have done all this. He gets Tundra and oh, he had Sparas. Huh. All right, fair enough, fair enough. I think I just draw here. He discards. I mean, land is fine. I really do need like a ponder more than that, though. Pluto Delta would still be pretty good, though, because it could go get Undercity Sewers. I wouldn't mind that. Just don't draw a clunker. I mean, counterspells, I guess, are playable, but I really don't need to be drawing more counters here when I'm getting just crushed by Library. Yeah, and I was just going to pass the turn. I could have played Snapcaster, but I don't think attacking for 2 is really going to do anything. You know, Library now? No. I guess I'll warp the Riddler. I have counterspells for days. Drawing this on turn 4 after missing a land on turn 3 is not ideal. Do you have the miscalc? Well, you're going to want a Library before doing this, unless you have the Hull Breacher. If he has the Hull Breacher and I get to force it, I would be pretty happy about that. But that seems kind of unlikely. I mean, I probably am forcing this. I don't know. It doesn't really just pitch the Mystic Confluence. I don't like it, but I really need to hit a land drop here. All right. Pluto Delta is actually a pretty good land drop. Goes and gets Undercity Sewers. Now we're getting a little closer to Dig Through Time. I still don't think my prospects are great, but it was worth forcing there. Pitching force in a blue card to basically just draw a card. That would also leaves the Riddler warped where it wouldn't have been. That was part of why I pitched Mystic Confluence is if I have 5 mana to spend on a spell, I already have a Riddler to play. I don't really need another thing. Pass, no plays, no land? Okay. Do you have Tidebinder or something? Oh, Flash. No, I can force that. Force pitching Snapcaster. Sadly, he still does have Library going. So again, I'm not feeling great about all this, but I'm feeling better than I was a few turns ago. Undercity Sewers. Let's see. I'll put that in my graveyard. I just want to put cards in my graveyard for dig anyways. Now if I draw a land, I can dig. Okay. Consider actually could let me dig too. So if I keep this on top, land dig. I mean, I guess I could have also put it on bottom. or graveyard. But hitting a land drop here seems pretty good. Now I'm going to pick up Consult Oracle. Okay. Now, if I hit a land, I have Oracle Consult with Counterspell up. And given that he's got Library, a million cards in hand, I'm tapped out. He's probably feeling like, oh, it's time to resolve a spell. Okay. If I can win this game, I feel pretty good about it, this whole matchup. He did miss a land drop. So I assume he's drawn to land off this library. It would be fairly likely to have done so. And I just need Adam to tap out. Oh. Okay, so he gets to draw and play Time Walk. Yeah, that's pretty good. Hopefully he can't recur it again. It would be pretty difficult too, especially since he's short on lands, because one of his most common ways to accelerate a bunch of mana was Fast Bond, but he was missing land drops before, so it seems like that's not going to happen this moment. He could have Tameo here to get back the Time Walk. He could have Emeritus of Abundance. Feywild. Boom, and I win. Whew. I have all the pitch counters, so easy enough. All right. I mean, dig into Oracle Consult is a pretty nice one. I will say that. I mean, I even drew the land, so let's just go Consult. Brimsbaroni or something like that. Oracle. Boom. All right. Up a game. Post board, again, looking at his deck. He does have Tidebinder post board as well as Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer is going to be an annoying one for sure. And then the rest isn't really against me. And he probably just takes out like Spider-Woman and maybe Feywild because it's expensive. He's got a decent post board configuration. The question is, do I want... I mean, I want Bowmasters for sure. Do I... Because he's just a bunch of card draw in his deck. Do I want like Dothy Voidwalker or Animate Dead? Animate Dead doesn't actually snag Woodfall Primus. Oh, and Mental Misstep and Stern Scolding. So Stern Scolding actually like counters Voice, Hullbreacher, Spellseeker. Doesn't counter Emeritus though. Malcolm, Birds, and Mental Misstep I don't think is good enough. Okay. So I think I just put in Bowmasters. Probably take out Deluge. It kind of answers Torsten, but that seems like a kind of bad way to go about it. Cut down does kill Hullbreacher. Dismember also seems... No, Dismember, he's got a couple kind of like random medium creatures. Or Dismember would be decent. Maybe just Daze on the draw. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. We'll see. Maybe I want Voidwalker. He's got some graveyard stuff. Yeah, I probably do. And it just like kind of pressures a random library or something. Library is just going to be such a problem. Well, this is a great hand. He's mulling, so I'm not going to get libraried out, at least not immediately. Turn 1 Frog should be pretty nice. I mean, he's got an early flash. That's about it. There's not a whole lot he can do about Frog. I mean, he mulled to 5. I'm going to still play the Frog on turn 1. I don't think I can afford to leave up Spell Pierce and hope that he doesn't have it. So, or rather, play in fear of him having it. If he has Flash here, that's a problem, but he would have had to have all the components, no messing around, and against the times when he doesn't, it's so much better. All right, nice. Ooh, don't mind seeing that. I gotta say. I don't know if I want to play the Delta or not. I just want to hit with the Froggerto first. Snapcaster. Yeah, I'm probably going to want to get Undercity Sewers, and so I think this is actually a pretty decent turn to do that. Malcolm. I do have Stern Scolding in my deck. Yeah, I guess I'll just consider in response. I won't crack the Sewers yet. Okay, graveyard, Draw. Oh, well that is how I'm going to win. I've got a Spell Pierce. This will happen in 2 turns here. And the Spell Pierce plus Snapcaster Pierce can probably stop most Time Walk type shenanigans. I'm not going to tap out, so Flash isn't going to give me... There's that library. Oh, Tidebinder, though. Let's not get Tidebinder. There's really no reason for that. Tidebinder's going to be very good against me no matter what, but I don't think there's a reason to walk into it that hard. Oh, there's the Oracle. I think I Tameo and just kind of hope Adam taps out at some point here. Tameo also stops the Malcolm, so he has to do something. And I feel like having Oracle Consult with Spell Pierce up, I just have to make sure I don't lose to Tidebinder, because that one would actually literally kill me. If I find Inquisition of Kozilek, that works. Now I actually like leaving Delta uncracked. I'm going to admit I didn't think about crack it in response to Misty to play around Tidebinder, but here I actually like the Tidebinder representation, where if I crack this end of turn and Adam taps out to Tidebinder, then I just untap and win. So it's actually good to wait on the Delta, but it is funny that there is a world where you would want to cast in response. Mystical Tutor? Could it be? No, maybe. I mean, the Tameo blocking the Malcolm is huge here. All right, Eagles is getting cycled. Play a Teferi and I just win. I just have to make sure I don't lose to Tidebinder, like I said. And all right, looks like I'm going to win then. Lutri, yeah. That is not going to do it, my friend. And I also played another round without recording, and I beat Morty's dog. So this puts me at 5-0 here. Let's cast Consult. Let's name Brims Maroney. Let's Oracle, and we even have the Spell Pierce just in case. All right. 5-0. Still haven't played Mac. I still haven't played Arc, and I still haven't played because I played Squirrel already. Whoever the last person is. Rob on Black White. That is a matchup that's going to be tough, I think. All right, it is time to battle Arc here. He's on the basically mono green combo deck with a 1 Nadu, 1 Seasoned Engineer is the only non-green cards, Boots to go with Nadu, Greaves to go with Nadu, Painter Servant Grindstone, Time Vault Manifold Key, an Urza's Saga to pull it together. It does have a Wasteland. It's good to know about. Also, the Titania Baloth Prime Zern Orb and Sylvan Safekeeper combos with some Green Suns. Pretty cool deck. All right, I'm on the play. And yeah, I will run it. I'm going to play turn 1 Tameo off Island. The question is, what do I pitch to force? I mean, when it happens that I have to cast the force. I don't really want to force a turn 1 mana dork, but, it's not impossible that I'd have to force on turn 1. I guess, it'd be one of Snapcaster or Mystic Confluence. Probably Snapcaster, because that one's not looking so good right now. And with Tameo Clues, I think there's a decent chance I can get up to enough mana to cast this Mystic Confluence. Hold to 6 here, and because of Wasteland, I should try not to expose myself any non-basics if I don't have to, obviously. If I drew Counterspell, I just still play Watery Grave, but Mox, yeah, I'm not forcing the Mox. We didn't come here to force Moxes. Chrome Mox, all right. Well, probably gonna have to force something. Yeah, force the Sentinel, pitching Snappy. Force of Negation. All right, that's okay. It can be good. We'll see what Arc's next play is. Hopefully it's not just another big creature. It's a Malevolent Rumble. Let me crack this. Pitching Mystic Confluence to that. And he hit Zuran Orb and Seasoned Engineer. All right, well, Seasoned Engineer is going to be a problem. Oh, he can't cast it this turn, but You can play Greaves. I don't think I can afford to force that. Days is not going to do it either. Let's draw with clue. Yeah, I should draw with the clue because there's cards I would play here. Like Psychic Frog. That's actually exactly one of the cards I was thinking of. Pay the 2 life. All right. I mean, Dungeoneer with haste is still, and Greaves, well, is still a problem. I wish I could have forced the Greaves actually, and I wish Days would have worked here, but wishes were fishes. Basically, I'm going to have to find the Oracle combo because I'm not going to win. Oh, he didn't Greaves. He didn't Greaves. Okay. Well, that buys me something. I don't know what. I'm just going to discard Days, discard Spell Pierce because I got to give this thing flying. Can't block anyways. Okay, get the initiative. Island card. Consider. Pass the turn. I mean, I have no outs to Dungeoneer. Like, I can't stop it in any way, shape, or form. The Greaves is brutal. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, wait. I didn't think about that. Okay. This is fine, but with Greaves on it, it can't give itself protection. Huh. That means that Ark's going to have to move the Greaves off to attack, and maybe I get a window to do something, though there's a pretty good chance I cast Mystic Confluence this turn. Because, I mean, Ark, next turn, if I can survive 2 turns, let's see. He can't put counters on that. He has to put the counters on there. Yeah, I actually think I am going to survive, especially since I can counter whatever's coming down here. Eternal Witness. I'm going to want to counter it. I could counter. Unfortunately, I have to make Arc pay twice, but I think I have to because I certainly don't want Zero Orb. So counter unless you pay twice and then draw. I guess I have a Force of Negation if something happens. But Time Vault. Okay. I don't need to force that because if he has key, then I can force the key. Discard Dark Slick Shores. I think I just discard Island. I'm just gonna go for the win. I think I attack with Tamiyo because I'm gonna probably want to flip the Tamiyo this turn. Oh, I didn't give my thing flying. I meant to. Well, fair enough. Here, I'll exile these now. Okay. That was foolish of me. And forge onto the frog. So frog is just lethal now? Because next turn it does quite enough. Actually, let's just crack clue. I think that's probably better. So that flips Tamiyo. Plus Tamiyo. And I guess I'll just ponder. I want Wishclaw. I don't think Wishclaw does much for me, so I'm just going to shuffle. Because there's a couple cards that could do something. Riddler. Riddler doesn't really do much for me, so let's just pass. So Greaves Dungeoneer, that is weird. I have never seen that interaction come up because they don't do Shroud very often. Because now the Greaves Dungeoneer gets to hit me for 5. It can hit me basically can hit me down to 4. Oh, but I get to stop 2 of it. And he gets to explore here, hitting Delighted Halfling. Don't want that. All right. 11. I lose the initiative. I go to 6 here. And then Psychic Frog should do it. Let's crack this clue. There's not really any drawback because I just have the force up still. And I'll cast Consider because I have Jace to pitch. Dismember. I think I'll keep that. I don't really know what I'm trying to hit here. I guess I'll just attack with the frog and see if that does it. This stops like a, I don't know, endurance or something. I don't even know if Arc has that. Let's see. All right. Whew. Up a game. I do think I want Null Rod. It stops Zern Orb and Time Vault. It stops both those combos. And looking at Arc's deck, I mean, Cut Down and Stern Scolding both look good too. So it does have some things that those miss. And Bowmasters as well. What does it ping? Avacyn's Pilgrim, Hierarch, Sylvan Safekeeper, Rumble Token, Witness. He does have a Surrak Elusive Hunter that he's definitely going to side in. So the Bowmasters, you can actually just kind of go infinite, force him to keep triggering it. All right, so I want those two. Oh, I think I want Cut Down, Stern Scolding. Oh, do I want Mental Misstep? Yeah, that's a lot of ones. All right, so that's a lot of cards that I want to bring in because I also want to keep Deluge. I don't usually want Null Rod and Deluge in my deck at the same time. Spell Pierce, I think I can cut. I think I can cut Force of Negation as well. It does stop some of the Time Vault stuff and like Pest Infestation and Green Sun's Finale. No, I think I can cut that. I got to cut something here because I want to put all these in, which maybe I just cut Shieldred's Edict. He's just got too many creatures. Seems okay. Days on the draw seems reasonable to cut. And could cut Wishclaw, but I kind of feel like even with Null Rod in my deck, I don't know. Maybe Wishclaw is just my weakest card. All right, let's try this. All right, I've got a pretty good amount of disruption. I don't feel too bad about all this. On the draw here, I don't want to see 2 Moxes and a Null Rod. I'll say that. Yeah, I guess I will keep this. It obviously is a little slow, but I see a lot of cards. And I sided in Bowmasters, Cut Down. I have Deluge. I have a lot of cards that catch me back up. I also potentially have the ability to like find a Null Rod if Arc leads them. Whoa, okay. Let's see the most cards possible, which is Ponder, looking for a force. There's Null Rod. I'm not going to shuffle. If Arc just has key here, then I lose. But if he doesn't, then this hand becomes a lot better. Urza's Saga. Okay. Into Lightning Greaves? I'm just gonna play the Null Rod. Let's just not lose to these artifacts here. Because this kind of stops Greaves and it makes it so Arc can't use Urza Saga this turn by like playing a Mox or something. And now I'll play Psychic Frog and Undercity Sewers. I think I'm just going to bin the Deluge. Doesn't really look like I need it at the moment. Oh, this Null Rod it's looking pretty nice, not going to lie. This can go get something, but with Null Rod in play, there's not much you can do with that. Haywire Might does not kill the Null Rod. He does have Outland Liberator in his deck, and that would be a problem if you cast it right now. Or Pest Infestation. Oh, no. Okay. I probably lose now. That's pretty good. Not gonna lie. I don't even know what I can consider into. Okay. It's time. I mean, I guess I'll attack with the frog first. This time I'll remember to give it flying. And if I draw Oracle here, I could win. All right, now I can consult. and name Thassa's Oracle. It has to be one of the bottom 3 cards of the deck. Oh, no, it could have been bottom 4. Almost there. All right, going to game 3. Yeah, that was sick. I thought I was going to be fine there. The Pest Infestation did good work. On the play, I don't mind Daze so much. And maybe now Subtlety is good against him. The problem is everything seems pretty good. Maybe I just don't play the Daze, or maybe I play it instead of Consider. Yeah. All right, he's got a reasonably high curve. Let's try this. See how this goes. All right, I'm on the play. I'm gonna keep this hand. I'm gonna get Underground Sea and cast Ponder, and just hope to find lands. It would obviously be a bit of a bummer if I didn't. I could get Undercity Sewers, but no, I want to do this. All right. No shuffle, so I don't have a counter spell, except I do have Subtlety. I do have Bowmasters, and I'm really hoping Arc plays a not Delighted Halfling, Chrome Mox. Okay, what could this be? Malevolent Rumble into Bristly Bill, sure. Bristly Billiam is fine. I'm going to pass. I could potentially, assuming he doesn't play a fetch land here, and if he has a wasteland here, it's really annoying. Oh, Urza Saga is pretty good. I could potentially play Bowmasters to just trade here with Bristly Bill. Doesn't sound too bad. It's not like Arc draws a bunch of extra cards. Then I'm going to block here with both. Urza Saga is a bit annoying, but I get to cast I'm going to draw Consult. He just has the Time Vault. Okay. And he's Urza Saga, so I guess what I need to do is play Sophomoric Springs, pay 3 life, cast Stock Up, and look for Oracle or Null Rod. There's Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, which is going to be too slow because Saga's going to hit 2 here. Well, damn. I mean, I'm not dead because I get another turn. I guess I definitely want the island, and I guess the Jace in case I find the Null Rod. Because what I can do next turn is warp the Riddler looking for Null Rod. I can draw Oracle. I can draw Null Rod. Oh, I can't draw any of it. I just lose. All right. Fair enough. That is how that gets you. I thought I had game 2. It's funny because game 1 was the one I thought I was losing. And I wasn't going to hit either way. GG's. All right. So I have to beat Mac here. If I beat Mac and I beat Rob, we have a potential tie. We have me and Mac at X1 still. So we'll see how that goes. All right, this is a big game. So I've got 2 matches left. I'm playing against Mac now. He's kind of the end boss. He's 7-0. He's beaten every single person but me. If I beat Mac, I'm 6-1, losing to Arc, and then I have to beat Rob, who's my last match. And if I beat him, then me and Mac tie for first. If I lose and then beat Rob, then I tie with maybe Adam for second. All right. Well, I won the die roll. Let's go. I'd like to play first. Yeah, this hand looks awesome. I'm going to keep this hand. I think having Force plus Inquisition on the play is good enough. It's tough. I really do need to find a second land, but my hand is 2 spells that cost 1, 2 spells that cost 0, and 2 spells that cost 2. The Snapcaster kind of costs 3. All right. Yeah, this looks solid. Okay, he kept 7 as well, which I don't love. Dismember is good against Shieldred. Let's get Underground Sea. Let's Inquisition you. Lotus, Atraxa, Life Death. So he's hoping this was a turn 1 Atraxa. If he drew a land, well, I'm going to take the Lotus. And he might just do nothing. No land? Oh, of course. Of course. I drew a land as well, but he needs to draw another one, and it's still multiple turns, but what he's got. All right, no plays. All right, land. All right, Tameo. Tameo is a nice draw, though I would have rather just drawn a land. Okay. Now he gets to hard, just discard here. It's reasonable. Gets to discard a Trox or a Gristlebrand. Okay, I drew an island, so now let's see. So I could snap here. He only has one animate. I guess I think I just do that. Pyroblast, looting, life, death, bitter triumph, collective brutality. Yeah, I'll take life, death. Pass the turn. Troxa, no life, death. Probe, sure. This is what he's got. Swamp. So he drew the second swamp. So he can collective brutality. He has 6 cards. It's actually those 6 cards exactly. He can collective brutality if he wants to kill Snapcaster and make me discard force or counterspell. He knows about both of them. Pyroblast is pretty sick, but he does need to draw red. All right, well, we'll see where he goes, but this doesn't look too bad. I mean, it didn't play. I guess he did play a land on turn 1. He didn't play a land on turn 2. All right, there goes brutality. Oh, it's bitter triumph on the Tameo, discarding the Gristlebrand. Okay. We'll allow it. I don't love it, but I'll allow it. I don't think I need to force there. Here, I'm probably just going to cast Subtlety at some point. Though I guess it's my blue card for force. So now he goes land, he can collective brutality. Could discard. He's just going to collect brutality and take a card. Sure. Yeah, all right. He doesn't have any creatures, so I'm just going to cast Subtlety, I think. He's already used a couple removal spells, which is nice. Ooh. Drawing Froggerto was pretty much just incredible. Let's do that, have counterspell up. Even if he draws a red here, I've got an answer. He kind of needs to draw red right now. He did not. I'm going to crack my clue. Sink into Stupor ought to wrap things up here. To discard here. It's going to be lethal next turn with snap and thing anyway. All right. I won the die roll, though I would have potentially been able to like force Lotus either way. And had turn 1 Inquisition. Post board, he already has his Pyroblast and whatnot main deck. So post board, he gets a Show and Tell and maybe Hexing Squelcher. That's a good one. All right. Meanwhile, I get Animate Dead and Voidwalker. Mask Pitching Unmarked Grave. I guess I'll just sink into Stupor that, since I don't really know what he can do about that now. What is this? Shallow Grave and then Concede. All right. He even drew the Shallow Grave. Oh, Mental Misstep's the nuts. It's actually incredible. So I think I want those. Deluge I can cut. I'm going to keep Dismember. I'm going to keep Edict. Subtlety, I think I can cut. It's only good against grief, basically. I think Daze is actually pretty good. Do I cut Consider? JVP? I think I'll cut JVP, and then do I want Caustic Bronco or Bowmasters? I don't think so. All right. Do I want Cut Down? It's only against Squelcher, but Squelcher is pretty annoying otherwise. No, I think I'm okay. I don't know. I could maybe cut Wishclaw for it, but it's going to be a tough matchup. This hand is actually like almost good enough on the draw. In fact, I'm going to run it. I just need him to play a card on turn 1 for me to misstep it. I have double Force, Daze, then I have Inquisition, Dismember. So any land I draw is going to be awesome. And his deck is just optimized for a turn 1 reanimate. I think this gives me a better chance to win than 6. Plus, if I win with this game, especially if I don't miss a land drop on turn 1, then Mac watches this later. Oof. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the value? Force pitching Daze. Okay. Classic. Empiric Tutor. Okay. Well, he pitched a card and vamped, so honestly not too bad. And I drew a good card to pitch to Forceful, though maybe I should have pitched Counterspell. I definitely am not pitching Misstep or Force. I could have pitched Counterspell instead of Daze. I think it's pretty close. If he gets Hexing Squelcher here, it's going to be sick, unless I draw a land, in which case I can just Inquisition and or Dismember. All right, let's see what he's got. Lotus. Collective Brutality, discarding Atraxa. Force pitching Mystic Confluence. Reanimate. Mental misstep it. All right, he has no cards in hand. Oh, there's an island. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Land. Oh, there's a Mox Jet. I'm going to wait on the Inquisition, I think. Hopefully it doesn't just go land animate. All right, land. Oh, that's a Spell Pierce. Let's Inquisition here. Pyroblast, Red Blast. All right. Fair enough. All right, so he can cast his spells. He can even get Raucous Theater here. Oh, Undercity Sewers. Let's do it. Any Psychic Frogs? I'm going to put a land in my graveyard. My deck has no cards that cost more than 3 mana in it right now. So, don't need another land. In fact, I'm kind of flooding if you think about it. Unmarked Grave, he bins that, sure. Imperial Seal, okay. I need to draw a land. He doesn't have another 1 mana animate left. So he can't animate with Counterback or with Pyroblast up. He could get Hexing Squelcher, but I have the Dismember. If I draw blue, I can just have everything wrapped up. Black was really bad. Horrible draw. Come on, baby. If he goes for an animate here. Okay. Blue. All right. I'm going to go for it till he draws another land. Now he's going to go for it. Spell Pierce. Counter. All right, Psychic Frog, let's go. Okay, Consider. And Dig Through Time? Oh, Dothy Voidwalker. All right. Doesn't actually do anything here besides attack, but there's a Consult. Okay. Maybe I can do this before he gets another reanimate. Ponder, all right. Ponder's good. Oh, into Snapcaster. All right. I can't actually snap a counter yet. I can snap Mental Misstep. So 8. I think I just attack. I have Sink into Stupor Up and Snap Counterspell. And is it 5? If he doesn't play anything, I'm probably just going to Snapcaster end of turn. Animating an Atroxa is still pretty bad for me here. Like if it resolved, but I feel like I have a pretty good shot of that not happening. Goes to 4 here. Okay. Think he's done. I think he's done. Boom. All right. I'm 6-1. I need to play Rob. Mac is now 7-1. Let's go. All right. This is it. The final match of the Roto. This is going to determine whether I get first, tie for first, or tie for second. I'm playing as Broccoli Rob, who's not currently in the running, but we're completing all our matches. He's got a black-white aggro deck with Duress, Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Bob, Deep Captain Bat, Him, Tide Hollow, Mother of Runes, Fourth, Solitude, White Plume Adventure, Gleemox. It's going to be tough, especially on the draw and on a mulligan. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll keep... I'm just going to throw away Force of Negation and hope that I can draw a black source for this Inquisition, and then I have 2 disruption spells at a Jace, and I guess that's something. All right, let's see where we're at. Well, Swamp was good. Inquisition you. Tide Hollow Scholar, Ocelot Pride, Strip Mine, Containment Priest. Yeah, I guess I just take Sculler, and then he's going to go Strip Mine, Ocelot Pride, and I'm going to Dismember. Hold on, Rob. Don't pass your turn. And it's going to be Containment Priest versus me. All right. I can live with that. Gonna need a little help here. A Mox would actually be pretty good because casting a Jace a turn early would be nice. Spell Pierce, that doesn't do anything right now. So Dismember the Ocelot Pride. Pass the turn. He might main phase Containment Priest. I mean, if he draws like a 4th Earlingus or a Smuggler's Copter, the Spell Pierce could be good, or maybe a Hand Disruption. Oh, Consider's not bad. And Containment Priest's not the fastest clock. Actually, like, Jace can just beat a Containment Priest. I just cast it as like a value Planeswalker, but if he gets a second creature out, obviously that doesn't work so well. I don't obviously have a counter I could consider in response, but... So he's got 4 cards in hand, one's a Solitude, and he left a card on top with Shadowy Backstreet, which I don't think he would have left a land on top there. So I'm really hoping I can land a Spell Pierce here. I think that's going to be pretty important. Okay, consider... I'm going to bin the Oracle. All right, Darkslick Shores isn't bad. My top 2 cards were Oracle Consult. Brutal. Brutal. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to, or I guess there was Oracle Darkslick Consult. I guess I wouldn't have been able to do the thing anyway, because I wouldn't have been able to draw all 3. If I draw a Mox next turn, I just win. Okay, 3 cards in hand. Did he main deck Baleful Mastery? I need to see. No, it's in the sideboard. Okay. It's good to know. I mean, does he have a way to stop this? He's got Reprieve. He could easily have Reprieve. That's the only instant that can stop this. All right, well, I guess I'll go for it. I mean, if he has reprieve, he's going to reprieve here, and there's nothing I can do about that. All right. Let's consult, I guess. I don't know. If he kills the Jason response, I mean, he can't do it. He's got no cards. He can crack Silent Clearing and try to find reprieve, I guess. All right. Say we stole that one, huh? Drawing Consult, Black Source, Thassa's Oracle, Mox in sequence was pretty nice. All right. We are up a game here. Postboard does get a little tougher. He gets that Baleful Mastery. That's about it, though. I mean, I don't know if he wants Opposition Agent, Cathar Commando. I guess he has, like, Swords and Fatal Push, Containment Priest, Loran. Yeah, he's got a number of cards he might want to take out. I think I want Stern Scolding, Cut Down. Oh, do I want Mental Misstep? I just always have to look here. Yeah, he's got 3 1-drop creatures and 2 discard spells. So if I want those... Oh, Bowmasters has to be good, right? Yeah, I can kill Deep Cavern, Bat, Thalia, Dark Confidant, Mother of Runes, Ocelot, Pride, maybe Loran. Can fight for the initiative. Yeah, all right. So if I want those 4... I mean, I really can cut Force of Negation, Spell Pierce. They're not going to be that good. Daze, his deck is such low curve. And maybe I cut the Wish Claw. It's a good thing to have in play, but against discard, but also he's got a couple disenchants. And I think I can be a decent blue-black control deck here. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, on the draw. Oh man, I would really love to win this Roto. Well, I'm going to keep this hand. Sadly, it doesn't brick Duress or Inquisition, though it's like kind of close. He mulliganed. I get to turn 1 Subtlety, but I don't really want to. And then I have Bowmasters on 2. All right. Well, let's see how this goes. Scryland. Okay. And once again on top. Mox wouldn't be too bad, but Shielder's Edict's not too bad either. Basically, the way I want this matchup to go is that I don't really draw Consult or Oracle early. If he plays a card that can die to Bowmasters here, it's going to be so sick. I don't want to draw Consult or Oracle early. It's like I don't really want this Jace my hand that much. Oh, disgusting. I just want to remove their stuff like I'm doing now, and then draw Dig Through Time and dig into it like in the middle of the game. Yoink. Thank you very much. Just kill this now. No reason to get reprieved or anything. And I still have Subtlety. Next turn I go Watery Grave plus Shieldred's Edict. Well, he's got Mother of Runes now. Oh, or Undercity Sewers, even better. See, this is tough, because if the Jace gets discarded, I end up with no way to win. I think I'm just going to put this on top. I'm going to pass the turn. I don't want to get Feliad here. I'm just going to Shieldred's Edict the Mother of Runes. Let Felia happen. I don't love it, but I don't really have much of a choice. Maybe I shouldn't have left Oracle on top. It does mean I can pitch Jace to Subtlety, though I really don't want to pitch cast Subtlety. Oh my god, Strip Mine is a beating here. My hand is just all 4-drops. This game was looking good. Now is no longer. I have 6'd, but I guess I shouldn't have because of Subtlety. I'm kind of glad I kept the Oracle on top. Well, he can't flicker the White Plume. I mean, he can, but if he does, then he'll lose the Felia. So he probably just flickers the Orc. Oh, all right. He's just going to do it that way. That's fine by me. Okay, I'm at 20. He's going to get a 5/5 here. I draw Thassa's Oracle. think I play it. Oh, that was a dumb misclick. That's fine. The doesn't really change too much, like in terms of life totals, but I should probably not misclick here. Let's see. Yeah, the strip mine just won him the game. All right, time to just raw draw consult. That is gonna strip mine was sick. If without strip mine, I would have had a subtlety up this turn. I mean, the white plume still would have been tough, but all right, I'm just gonna top deck consult. That's what I'm gonna do. Inquisition. No, I'm just dead. All right. All right. Game 3 on the play. Man, I had a good hand anti-mulliganed and it just didn't get there. I needed that Mox a bit earlier. Do I want days on the play? I kind of do. I don't think I want to cut Force of Will. I mean, it's possible I cut Shielder's Edict. He has a lot of creatures, so it gets a little worse there. Jace Vryn's Prodigy actually seems pretty good because he's not going to have that much removal. All right, let's do it this way. All right, this is it. This is the match. Let's see. This is the game for it all. Mac is sweating this game, so is Adam. Okay, I'd like to play first. To keep the nuts. Turn 1, Dark Slick Tameo. I'm just going to play all creatures here and hope Rob doesn't have a heavy removal hand here. Hopefully it's not Thoughtseize or Inquisition. It's just Duress if he turn 1s. Looks like he isn't playing a tap land turn 1 because not throw it. If I just got to hit Psychic Frog there, I would have been in such good shape, but I still am because I get to go attack, make a clue, play a land, have Counterspell up. I'm actually a little worried if he takes Psychic Frog because then means he's got a better play than my Frog, but yeah, I didn't think that was the case. All right, that's good, that's good. Quantum Riddle also looks like it's going to be insane here, so let's attack. Subtlety also looks good. It's a world where I like pitch Subtlety and then warp Riddler at some point. This is like one of the few matchups where I actually wouldn't have minded a Lurrus. Maybe if I had one more pick, I hope he doesn't have Felia or an instant speed creature. Because if he just has to play into Counterspell here, it works so much better for me. All right. I'm just going to crack the clue. It's fine. Play your thing. Oh, didn't have a thing to play? And I drew a Mox. Mox is awesome. Just going to attack and pass. And I think the blue-black control style's working. Against discard, I really hate drawing my combo pieces, so I'm glad I haven't drawn them yet. Felia. So he could have played this and gotten it countered and didn't. Huh. I think I'm just going to cast Subtlety here. Seems like that's a beating because if he didn't want to land Felia through Counterspell, it makes me feel like he's got White Plume Adventure in hand. And having Subtlety out means he just can't play the White Plume, or at least it's not very good. And then now I've got a sick board, and he knows I have Counterspell, so if I get to untap, I just get to have Counterspell up. And there's not much he can add to the board here. He might even have put Felia on the bottom. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I put Felia on the bottom. There's just not really a window for it. I thought about letting it resolve and trying to ambush with Subtlety, but this basically kills it still. Mother Runes is fine. Into Sculler. All right. If he Scullers Counterspell, I have a pretty good opportunity to play a Riddler and draw 2 cards. I just play Sink into Stupor as a land if I miss on lands. So he kind of has to take Riddler. But then if he takes Riddler, I just have Subtlety plus Tameo going and a Counterspell up. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape either way, to be honest. All right. He's got a tough decision here. I guess you could take Sink into Stupor, but that seems That seems like it wouldn't work out so well. The Mother of Runes will protect the Skull Art. Yeah, I think taking Riddler is what he kind of has to do. Though I do have Deluge and whatnot. That was not a particularly good draw. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to draw with a clue. Oh. Play this, pay 3 life. I actually think I'm just going to cut down the Sculler. You can have a Mother of Runes. And then I'm just going to leave up Counterspell here. Plus Kraken Clue. All right. Things are looking pretty good. Cracking that clue worked out nicely. Ooh, might be able to get this one here. Where you at? Where you at? 3 cards. He knows I have Counterspell and Quantum Riddler. He doesn't know about the Dig. The Dig is kind of a nice backup. Unearth on the Sculler. Yeah, I mean, I will Counterspell that. That's fine. Because if things go poorly, Dig probably gets better because he's killed some of my stuff. I mean, WPA would be interesting here because he's got Mother of Runes. Oh, Dark Confluence not going to do it, I don't think. I think he's in trouble. Okay, attack. Oh, stock up. Brutal. I kept drawing good card draw, so I can't Riddler. I wanted to Riddler and draw 2 cards to flip Tameo. I think I'm going to have to be okay with just playing the Riddler here. Boom, getting in there. A land wouldn't be bad. See, if I'd drawn a land first, I would have drawn 2. Flip Tameo. I'm not complaining. All right, what do you got? Flipped Caracas. My Tameo. All right. I guess I don't get to Tameo. I don't think Caracas is going to save him here, especially since I'm going to start casting my big card draw spells and I have all these clues. The odds that I can find the Consult Oracle over the next couple turns are pretty high, especially if he's not able to use Disruption on things that aren't this. I mean, Cloak and Dagger to take like Riddler would definitely be something. Like, we're not completely out of the woods yet. Emperor of Bones. Okay. So you can exile Psychic Frog? Interesting. You could put Psychic Frog into play, give it flying, and then pro blue it to block. He could also put it into play and pro blue it to attack, but I don't think that makes too much sense. All right, let's take my turn here. I'll get my island into play. Let's cast Stock up here. Oracle, and I think Deluge. Go to attacks. Make another clue. Okay, Rob goes to 5. I could Deluge for 1. I could Deluge for 4. Everything dies. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. I think killing Emperor of Bones is probably worth it. I lose my Tameo. He gets to put Psychic Frog into play if he wants. It doesn't really do anything. He loses all his creatures. I lose Subtlety, but I'm left with Riddler. And then my backup, at this point, he doesn't have discard or removal in hand, I don't think. So if he kills Riddler, then I get a whole turn to use Dig Through Time. And then find Consult. And if he doesn't kill Riddler, it's pretty hard for him to win at this point, I would say. Loran killing Mox. Okay. With a Caracas, nonetheless. I do have to watch out for Oracle Loran. Like, it actually stops my win condition. Let's just dig. I don't care about Snapcaster. I'm just going to dig here. Look for consult. No consult, so I guess I'll just pick up Mystic Confluence and... I need, it's kind of annoying because I'm like gonna finish this game. Oh, he has swords, yeah, okay. And mental misstep. Let's just do that. So Stern Scolding's my bottom card in case that matters. Then I'll play the Undercity Sewers. Ponder, sure, I'll put that on top. And I'm at 13, he's at 5, no cards in hand. I mean, Mystic Confluence just does this thing. He does get to draw an extra card because of Lorien, which is why I had to think a little, because if he goes like something that makes me Confluence and then draws swords with Lorien, he could get out of this, but I don't think it's going to happen now. I think we're going to get there. Yeah, we each draw a card. The Riddler. The Riddler wins the cube, and that does it. The Roto is over. And final standings here. Mac at 7-1, me at 7-1, Adam at 6-2. So me and Mac tie for first, Adam is second. And man, my deck was nice. It had some good stuff going on here. Let me see. Let me take a look. And yeah, this deck, I mean, the strategy was just start on blue and black mocks, take both forces, and then just take good cards, and didn't commit for a long time. Oracle Consult was good, but this deck, as you saw, was perfectly capable of winning a fair game, and I got very lucky against Mac, I'll just admit it. So that is what it takes, and a success for Roto. Let me know if you want to see more of these, because I would like to do more. We're doing another one right now, and I don't want to spoil it, but I started with a card I like very much. So that'll do it for this one. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Congrats to Mac as well for splitting first here. And I'll be back tomorrow. No rotos, but plenty of other good stuff going on. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel, and you won't miss a single draft.